shooting the shelf.
Woohoo!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Shooting the Shelf right here on the Just Shelve It channel. I am Jesse Arnold. Yes, that's what the song says. And this is Curtis Ackerman.
Man, you've been doing so well at pointing to the right side. That was like
I thought about it. I thought about it, and so I messed up. But anyway, we have got a packed show tonight. We've got a bunch of guests we're going to bring on. But
it's almost like an episode of OffWorld. We're going to have so many people on the screen. So.
Yeah, I think this is the most individual screens we'll have on this show at one time.
So let me call out folks in the chat. We're not going to keep those guys waiting. I know some shows they like to keep them back there for a couple hours or so before they bring them on, but we're gonna just call out the folks in the chat and then we'll bring those fellas on. So we do have Dave Orkin out there, Noah Pratt, JMax77, David Williams, Jose Sanchez, Stacy Lynn, Charbot, Tanya McCoy, Mvira 1976, EM Customs, Darla Ackerman, she's amazing. We got Wholesome Warlock, Rosedale Studios, Stephanie Ork, I am TJ Williams, the H is silent, Just Shelve It, Van Johnson, Legends Collector 1321, V-Dog, Mark Rivera, Michael Carter, Joe is out there, Drow Taylor Designs. Sorry, Joe, you're not a shelf selection this week. You can go ahead and tune out now. We'll catch you later. Rick Everett. Let's see. Montal Morrow. Joe Gonzalez is out there. Carver Customs. Once again, Charbot. Buy him. Reach out to Brian Lynn. Purple Gang's in the house. That is everybody.
Did you say Patrick?
Oh, I did not see Patrick. Oh, yeah, Patrick Boyle. So a lot of folks out there. I'm sure we'll have some more. But without further ado, let's bring on our guest. You want to throw him on the screen there?
Yeah, with a warm round of digital applause, welcome 4/5 of the Mythic Enablers podcast, Joe Bro Russo, Eric, Noah Pratt, and Brother Zende. I mean, brother, I don't
Xavier.
Words. Xavier.
They both work.
Yeah, well, it's funny that Jesse brings that up because normally right after we bring on the guests, we go right into shelf selections. But with this many people on and you guys do an audio podcast, so some people may not put names with faces and stuff. So wanted to take a quick second to just kind of.
I have no idea what's about to happen, so I'm sorry.
No, it's just we're just trying to introduce our audience to you guys so that as they're listening to your audio podcast, they can kind of put names with faces. So I put a little quick thing together because sometimes there's like nicknames and stuff. And we just want to make sure. So here we've got Wyatt, otherwise known as Y Guy. You may hear sometimes on the audio podcast.
It's a really good picture of him.
Yeah, we've got Joe Bro. So if you're kind of you hear that and you're like, okay, who the hell is Joe Bro?
I'm glad I wore my shades tonight. Oh.
Yeah. We got Mike Tyke is another nickname that you hear pretty often when you listen to the show. We got him here. Air Bear is another one, very very common that you hear, and I just want to make sure you guys can put the face to the name. And then Noah Boa, which is
oh boy,
I mean my favorite. I'm sure most people. So there you go. That's the Mythic Enablers crew. So just want to make sure everybody knows everybody. So
you're getting the real thing, baby.
Yeah,
that was well played. Well played. That was amazing.
I love how Wyatt was like it was just a picture of Wyatt.
Well, I tried to go with correct name, correct face, and then incorrect face, but correct name, and then we just went off the rails.
Just chaos, yeah,
just chaos.
Wait, those weren't all real pictures?
But I will no longer be able to listen to Marky Mark without thinking of Noah. So just saying.
Nor shouldn't you.
You might be alone on that one.
But we will go ahead and pull up our shelf selections, guys. These are just pictures that inspired Jesse and I for the week. We'll both talk about them, and then you're free to interject any thoughts that you have. No requirement, but always welcome. And then we'll get into the rest of the conversation. So First one this week is one of my selections, and it's David Williams on Instagram. Did a great job of painting up a couple charbots. One he matched to the Waltor figure. The other one, I believe it's matched to the Operative 83. And just did a great job on these. I think these little bots are so cool, and David's an amazing artist, and I think he just did a great job on these. So I wanted to throw those up.
Yeah, these are great. I've got one myself to paint, but I'm waiting for my Ox crew to come in to kind of go with their color scheme in some form or fashion. So, but these look great. David Williams always kills it.
Nice.
These do look good. This is Brian Lynn, right?
Yeah. Brian makes them, and you just got to PM him if you're interested.
Yeah, he's in our customizing group chat, and I always see these. Everybody in that chat has been painting the heck out of them, and they look great. Super great painted up.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of anything either of those guys do. I use a lot of Brian's, like his shelf risers and a lot of my pictures that I take. And he always says, he goes, that I never imagined anyone using them in that way. Because I always kind of just make them like really far, like distant, like background pieces, like forced perspective. And then anything David does, I think he's one of the best customizers in the Cabal, for real. So you go to put any picture of his up there and I give it a round of applause.
Nice.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
David's a good dude.
You know what? I gotta apologize, guys. I forgot there was something else I was gonna do before shelf selections. I was just gonna ask you if there's any other shows you guys need to go run and do real quick before you do ours. I know you guys are doing the circuit. I didn't know. I just want to check your schedules. You guys good to continue or we not?
We had to hit up those first two, so we could get it right for you guys.
Gotcha. Get the kinks.
There's practice for you.
Okay.
That's the way to make Curtis happy.
Here's one of Jesse's.
This was supposed to be the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was an order.
Okay. There usually isn't, but
okay.
So this is Marvelous Action Figures Pose on Instagram. No spoiler alert, but this scene similar to this happened in X-Men this week. And it just grabbed my attention. These are both the Marvel Select Rogue and Captain America. And I just think that was really cool, just seeing it. So, fun shot. And two of my favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah, I was actually wondering what figures these were. I thought that might be the Select Captain America. That's the one that just came out, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because I've seen people saying that's like the definitive Captain America, which is cool. I didn't know that they made a Rogue too. So, yeah, this is cool. Nice shot, and looks like two really cool figures. Anybody else?
I was going to say it was good timing, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it was good timing because of the episode, and you had already said that. And also, like, they've come a long way with Diamond Select. Like, I feel like they've gotten increasingly better over the years. And right on with the posing, guys.
Yeah, the only thing that I have an issue with those is the size, because they don't, like, you can't intermingle them with Marvel Legends and with the Mafex and with Mezco, because they're a little bit taller. Some of the bigger characters you can fit in.
I was going to argue that, like, the Juggernaut is one of the best ones they've done.
Yeah, or like Colossus or something like that. Yeah, some of the big ones you can fit in there, but these regular ones, you either kind of have to have all Diamond Select or none. So, here's my next one. And this is a shield that was painted up by Bear Blaze. He just does some amazing work. This is a shield. This one comes from Wolf King Customs. It's a 2-part with that head pops onto the shield. And, I think he just did a really good job of the kind of old tarnished, look on the Medusa head. But then the really crisp, clean paint job on the shield. It just looks really cool. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, that's cool. I saw that this week.
Yeah, every time I see his work, I kind of stop and just kind of take a look. I usually end up zooming in and just kind of looking at things. His work is so clean, and he's got a great vision. I just love seeing everything that he does. I really like the enamel kind of look of like the yellow and that kind of like coral pink red color on there
It,
too.
it did pop those two together. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, it's really cool. It gives some dimension to it and some texture, and it just looks rad. It's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm
it looks
ashamed
like-
to say that I slept on this guy for the longest time. I don't know if his work just wasn't showing up in my feed or whatever, but I would say within like the last like maybe month and a half, I've
Mhm.
started getting them like more regularly. And I'm like, who is this dude? And like I was already following I think on Instagram, and like it just wasn't, you know, that algorithm sucks. And
Mhm.
this guy does some amazing
Yeah,
paint work.
he's solid.
his stuff is really crisp and clean, like Eric was saying. I think, you know, I don't think he's ever had a table by himself. He's usually like sharing a table at Legion's Con, which is probably why, you know, maybe flies under the radar a little bit. But I mean, you look at his work, like just check out his Instagram. His work is all phenomenal. So
Yeah, you can fact check me on this, but I think he was sharing his table with Anthony Velez, Noble Bear Customs, I think, at the last Legion's Con, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was Reynolds Cruz, but you might be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
Anyway, that's cool.
he will be there for sure. So yeah, look for his work and
Both
check
of
out the
them.
Cabal or his Instagram, because he's posting stuff pretty regularly. So
That shield is really cool too. That shield is like one that 2 Legions Cons ago I walked into Dennis Derby's painting tutorial session at Legions Con in the breakout room, and I just popped in there to just to say hi and just, you know, see how everything's going. And it was in full swing. There was a bunch of people painting stuff, and one of the items he had for people to paint was that shield, and he was walking around the room looking over people's shoulders, giving them tips, helping them out. And I just said hi, and I looked at it in his hand. I go, man, that looks great. You're doing a fantastic job with that. And he's just like, oh, here. And he just handed it to me and gave it to me. So I was like, oh my gosh. And it looks fantastic. Yeah.
I think it's cool too, because there's like a variety of different ways that you can paint this, and you know, you could either go super realistic with it, or you can kind of do like an antique kind of look like he did here. And yeah,
and it's funny the way that Eric called those colors like coral, and like he looked at it in that vein, because I looked at it as like the snake head was like bronze is what like patina's like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at that like that, like the head was a bronze, like mounted on a shield of gold, and it had like brass in the back, like in 2 different kinds of gold. Like I was looking at as like different like filigrees of like different exotic metals and stuff like that. So precious metals. So, but it's yeah, it looks great either way you look at it.
I gotta say, I've oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say it kind of reminds me of Eric. Did you do your Belphegor bust in a similar, like I remember you doing patina? Am I remembering correctly or no?
I'm sorry, guys. My wife just got home and I was talking to her. What were you saying?
I saw that. I'm like, uh-oh.
So you did have another interview to do.
I guess I did, yeah. Something about patina?
I was saying this kind of reminds me of did you paint up your Belphegor bust kind of like that too? With
yeah, I did. What?
I said it reminds me of that a lot.
Yeah, it's a very similar technique. It looks like I love a good verdigris. Like it's one of my favorite looks for sure.
What were you gonna say, Jesse?
I was just gonna say I've painted up a couple of these myself since Legion's Con, and of this shield, and it's always fun because like I don't think I've done any of them the same way. But like just getting the edges. I'm using the mouse to point at the shield like anyone can see it, but like the edges of like the flares on the sun, like the rays, like it's a fun shield to paint, but it's also a tedious pain in the butt to paint. So this is really killer work, and I love that the head is such a contrast to the rest of the shield. That's it looks like he cut her head off and mounted it on there, and
yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Jesse's selection.
So this is from No Fate Figures and Geeked Out Click. You can see the spellings there with the underscores and stuff, but this, all sorts of alien NECA goodness here with you got the Xenomorphs, Alf with the blowtorch and ET, and it's just, I don't know, it just was a fun. It made me chuckle when I saw it, and just trying to imagine Alf doing all the stuff Ripley does in that movie cracks me up.
Yeah, when you sent this to me and I looked at it, I'm like, at first I kind of chuckled, just the elements that don't really kind of normally fit together. Like it's just, he's got Alf and ET and aliens and stuff. But then the more I looked at the photo, it's like a really good fucking shot. Like the whole, like the tunnel look to it, where it just looks like it kind of goes on, and you've got that one in the background and the light source. And you got ones coming out from the side and everything. Like it really is a cool photo on top of, just the funny elements that initially catch you, looking at it.
Yeah. I just, nope.
Yeah,
brain freeze.
It's a fun theme, but it's still terrifying with the aliens. Like I feel them like breathing on Alf's neck, and I'm like, run, Alf, run! These aren't the cats you're looking for. Get out of there, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah, like if Alf survived this encounter, like that would have really changed the TV show.
Yes, yeah. He's just shaking, like rocking back and forth. He's
just like PTSD. Anytime he hears something that sounds like an egg opening up, he like just gets shocked.
All right, next one is my pick. This is Mr. Toll Zenigma on Instagram. Did we get that last one? I'm sorry, that last one was I read them off. It right? No fake figures. Yep. Okay. This is Mr. Toll Zenigma on Instagram. And I just thought this was a really cool perspective shot where you got that Kong and then the, Wolverine there, and just the way that they posed it to where, I mean, that Kong looks freaking huge, based on the perspective of the shot. And, I don't know, this is something about this just really popped out at me and just made me go, wow, that's kind of terrifying. So.
Yeah. Is that a Mezco Wolverine?
Yeah. Mezco Wolverine. I'm not sure. Is that a NECA Kong, Jesse? Do you know, or is that, which one that is?
I don't know what that Kong is.
It's Mezco.
Is it?
Yeah.
That Kong is cool looking.
Yeah, that Kong's scary as heck.
Yeah.
So, Dorklayer is saying it's maybe the 18-inch. I don't know. So,
that's the one.
Gotcha. Cool. Anybody else got anything on this one?
It looks like it could be just a photo in the background on a screen. But yeah, it looks like the Mezco Kong.
Nice.
That's a really cool shot.
This one is Jesse's.
So this is Yojo Collectibles. I don't know this G.I. Joe figure. I just thought the composition of the shot was really cool. Is it Night Stalker? Is that?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Is that a character from G.I. Joe? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a G.I. Joe figure. And just facing up against the T-Rex in the back, you got the trees and the rocks and everything. I just thought this was really cool.
I dig the body language, just like the casual walk up to a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Pulling that arrow out the quiver. It's just some confidence in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No terror whatsoever. Just, super chill.
Yeah. I was thinking
what you gotta do.
Yeah. I was thinking
it's very Legolas.
Badassery is about to unfold right now. Like in the next instant, like something cool is about to happen just by how that person is walking up there. It's so confident grabbing that arrow.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, here we go. Just to the eyes. You're going down.
Or it could be those things where they twist it on you. He's got the swagger, he's got the count, he loses, lets a shot go and it doesn't do anything. And goes through all the arrows. He's like, oh crap. Then he starts running. Yeah.
The T-Rex is just staring back at him like, what the hell do you think you're doing? I wasn't even going to bite you, but you shot me with an arrow and all the other T-Rexes are looking. Now I have to bite you.
I don't know, man. I just kind of see him just kind of walking up and one shot in this thing and then put on some like cool big white glasses, being super chill. So
vibe I'm getting. He's going to put one arrow in him and just keep it moving.
This one is one of my picks. This is a new Instagram by our good friends Tanya and Kevin McCoy. This is they're using this to show off Tanya's work as she is getting into the customizing world. She has done 2 full customs now. This is her second, and it makes me sick how talented she is. For this being her second one, this is just absolutely phenomenal. She's been working on these mascots. Obviously, this is the Duke mascot. So this is aslan.creations on Instagram. Please go out and follow this one, because if her first 2 customs are any indication, she's going to be filling this thing up with some fire things. So you want to be on the lookout for those. But I think she's done an amazing job on this. She's in the customizing studio very regularly, working on these pieces. And, you know, it's not just painting and a head swap or whatever. Like, I mean, she's doing full, she's, you know, cutting things up with a X-Acto knife. She's, you know, sculpting things with the green stuff. She's full on diving into customizing, and it's looking phenomenal. So she's doing a great job.
I'm going to second everything Curtis said and just say, add on to it, that Duke needs to switch out their mascot for this figure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I'm all here for the sports tributes, man. I absolutely love when people do that. And this is just like really, really executed well. I love this. You know, I'm a big Giants fan, Daniel Jones, Duke player. So right on.
Yeah, and kind of a little bit of a, I guess, special announcement here. There is going to be a customizing studio event at Legions Con, and during that event, we're going to have some artists that do not have tables at Legions Con that are going to have tables in this event, and they're going to be painting a bust and that is being printed up by Wolf King Customs, and everybody that attends, you know, is seating limited, obviously, will be given one of those busts and be able to sit at one of those tables with the artist and just kind of ask them questions or even paint alongside of them. There's going to be 6 artists featured, and one of them will be Tanya McCoy. So there you go. If you want to, you know, pick her brain or see her in action, Friday night during setup at Legions Con, come see us at the customizing studio event. So
outstanding.
Yeah. Next is Jesse's, and you knew I had to end on this one, so I don't know why you act surprised, but go ahead.
I'm not acting surprised. I was just surprised that usually you put them in order the way I send them to you.
Not if you send me a Gambit. That's going fucking last.
So this one is slightly pandering to Curtis, but I did just really like this shot. You know, you got anyone watching knows I'm not the biggest Gambit fan, but this shot was too cool to pass up. This is Matea Toy Photography. Just the perspective with the Sentinels. I'm assuming that's like a what do you call it? The digiorama with like a screen or something in the background, but just like the practical dust and the rocks and everything. And his staff all lit up like a double-bladed lightsaber. This was just a really badass shot, and yeah, I had to pick it. So I'm surprised Curtis didn't say, "Oh, I already picked that one." So
no, I had not seen this one, which is you know, like Michael's talking about with the algorithm, because I'm definitely following this one, and I've picked several shelf selections from, but I didn't see this all week until you sent it. I think this is a great shot. I love how the front wheel of the motorcycle is kind of kicked off to the side. You got the dust and dirt, you know, shooting up. The glow of the staff, you know, the background, like the whole thing. This is just even just the way that the cape is flowing, or you know, the cloak, trench coat, whatever. Yeah, it just looks absolutely phenomenal. I think this is a great shot, and it's the one that we had to end this week on because it is awesome. And Gambit's awesome. So
yeah, that's totally rad. I had to take my glasses off to get a better look at that. It looks good.
Yeah.
I think it could be challenging to like recreate very specific scenes from well-known movies or shows. So when you're kind of doing that, especially if it's something that everybody recognizes, this episode in particular, like really struck a chord with a lot of fans. So to see them do this and to execute it so well is pretty cool.
Yeah. And that is it for shelf selections. So let me pull that down. So guys, I know you've been doing a lot of shows this week. Before we kind of get into all of it, I really wanted to talk to Noah first, because everything that I've kind of been hearing on Euro Legions with Legions Lounge is that kind of you were really the driving catalyst, you know, pulling these guys together. Everybody seemed to want to do this, but you were really the driving force. And my big question is, like, did you have any sort of hesitation after, kind of what happened with the Funky Bunch, that you thought, maybe this group thing doesn't really work? So kind of talk about that.
No hesitation there. This bunch is funky enough, and I mean, we're feeling the good vibrations, and I don't know any other song titles you want to insert.
No, I think you did perfectly just now. just the one was all you needed. You nailed it.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
You brought that
Was
home
there
really
another
well.
song?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was
Not
just
worth
that
mentioning,
one.
but I tell you what, it's a sweet sensation.
Just
shoot.
out of your head.
But in all seriousness, I know you guys are making the rounds because you've only got a few days left of this Kickstarter. So if you guys could talk a little bit about that and what's going on. Oh shit. No, I'm sorry. Another thing. I was just assuming you had some sort of Kickstarter on with all the shows you were doing, but no, just
I'm like,
so for folks that haven't gotten enough of you guys this week, tell us like where they can find you, what you have in store for the rest of this year. I know we've got a lot of shows that do like the lead up to Legions Con. They have guests on. You guys kind of seem to be doing your own little thing. What can people expect from now till Legions Con from you guys?
We've been working on some stuff for sure. Right now we're just having a lot of fun just talking to each other. So
Yeah.
I think the initial plan was for us to have guests, kind of just like most of the other shows, but we gotta make it through like one solid outline before we can start asking people on. And so far that has not happened.
No.
We did just kind of formulate a plan today for a cool I don't want to say gimmick or something like that, but like for
Totally
when we
gimmick.
do start having people on, something that we can do with them that is different and fun, and I think it's really exciting.
Oh, cool. So you said outline. So do you guys like kind of pre-plan before you get together, or is it just kind of loosey goosey? Whatever happens.
Yeah, we just kind of go with it, but Wyatt usually makes an outline just so that we have something we can kind of stick to. If it does kind of slow down or get quiet, we can just go to the next point. But it's been really natural and really fun and flowy on its own. So
yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that you guys have an outline, because it does feel like, and I think I mentioned it to you guys, it feels like just kind of like we're eavesdropping on a poker game or something. Like you guys are just sitting around, like shooting the shit, having fun. And it doesn't even feel like it's towards the audience. It's really just, like you said, you guys hanging out as a group, having a good time. And, we're just like listening in. It almost feels wrong at times. Like, it's like, should I be hearing this? Kind of thing.
Not
Like a
dropping,
voyeur,
Curtis.
huh?
Jeez.
Right.
No,
I mean, that's
really cool to hear
definitely
you say
it's
that.
the goal, right? Like that's
That's
kind
what
of
we
like the
want.
goal. It's what we
Yeah.
to like just bring like our private conversations to everybody. They
That's what
say
we're aiming for.
outline. It's more like bullet points that we kind of just like, all right, if we need stuff to talk about it, we'll start here. And it's crazy because some of our longest conversations have been on things that I was like, okay, well, that's going to last us like 4 minutes. What are we going to talk about after that? But
Right.
when it starts just flowing naturally, like, and nobody wants to stop the conversation. If it's running on and everything sounds good, and I'll do a whole show on one bullet point like that.
Right.
That wouldn't bother me at all. So
Well, I know what you mean, because like Friday we're doing OffWorld, and I think we went off for like 10 minutes talking about how close you should have mics to your face, and it was I've been told by several people that they thought it was an absolutely hilarious bit, and it's not a bit. Like, it wasn't planned. It was just Joe had put his mic on a arm because he wanted to be more professional, like the Legion's Lounge guys, and we were kind of ripping on him, and then it kind of turned into this whole thing. But I get what you're saying, though. Like, one little like topic, you may not think it's going to do anything, and then next thing you know, it's got a good conversation that goes with it. So
especially with the 5 of us, man. Like, yeah, it gets going good. So we never make it, like Eric mentioned, we never make it through an outline ever.
And like,
Well,
there's been bullet points where we all want to like contribute, but sometimes we can't even, because there's like so much that we want to talk about, and it's hard. It's hard with the 5 of us, just to kind of like get it all out there.
Yeah, we recorded today actually, and that I want to say that was the first time that we had actually made it through an entire outline, and
nice.
Congrats to us for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry for our
I know with this show
it was a long one.
Yeah, that's why we got through. The outline
is
that it's long. It's a long episode.
Yeah, it's like double episode.
It's worth it though. It's like my favorite so far. So
yeah, it's fun. I think people really like it.
What's that, Jesse?
I look forward to listening to it then.
Oh yeah, nice. Thanks for supporting us, Smith. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I think that's why Curtis like says it sounds so much like just like he's eavesdropping on a conversation. It's literally like the group message chat just like transformed to a podcast. Like that was the whole idea behind it. That's why it feels that way, and it sounds awesome to hear you say that to us, because it like that's the vibe that we're aiming for. Like we actually said to ourselves ahead of time, like if nobody listens to it, I mean, I'm just happy to have a time to just FaceTime with you guys every couple of weeks, just chat about things, and hearing your voice and like how you talk about it, like it's a little different than just seeing you write about it all the time. So I mean, we literally chat every single day since Legion's Con. What was it, 21? 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, this group formed up right after that, and it just felt right, and like it clicked. So yeah, I'm glad you feel that way.
It probably helps that we actually don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's also 50% of it.
Yeah. I mean, I said it a couple times earlier today. Like, it really got away from me a couple times. Like, I forgot we were doing a podcast. I had to like reel myself back in because I started going off the rails conversation wise.
Apparently, you guys were already talking people into buying more figures without even saying anything. So
one of you guys better say it, because if you don't, I will. All right. Boom. Enabled.
When are we getting that shirt?
Yeah,
we need that. We talked about shirts.
So we got slogans.
How much of what goes on in one of your guys's when you meet up to chat, how much of that actually makes it to the show, and how much is edited out? Because I know John was helping you guys initially kind of do some editing and stuff, and that's something that they did a lot of early on. And I think John's really tried to work on the EuroLeague just to limit some of the editing, which I think has improved the show, because sometimes those little like flub ups and rants and things like that can actually make the show better. So I like to have as much of that as possible in the show. But on your guys' estimation, like how much of what you talk about actually makes the final cut?
Oh, a lot, like 95, 98. 97, high percentage.
Yeah.
We don't edit that much. It's
Gotcha.
like sometimes maybe in the middle of the episode, like when we're talking about something, we'll be like, oh, do you guys think it would be cool if we talked to them, mentioned this or said this about this? And we're like, yeah, that sounds really great. And we're like, all right, let's edit out this like 3 seconds where we talked about if we should talk about this. But
gotcha.
It's pretty rare that we even do that. It's usually just
a little breaking the fourth wall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Little
where
you acknowledge the people that are like eavesdropping.
You guys all just heard things.
Like a lot of the editing that he does,
he just made eye contact.
He does like the listen back is he'll edit out like background noise, like if sirens drive by and somebody's sitting there while they're talking, or my kids are always running up and downstairs, and I've gotten pretty good with the mute button for when I'm not talking. Those first couple episodes though, if you go back and listen, not that I'm trying to promote a re-listen or anything like that, if you go back and listen, you got my wife yelling at my kids in the background downstairs. I don't like it. I'm like, hey, keep it down.
There's been plenty of dogs and chickens and whatever else too.
I know I've heard you on different shows, Eric, or even like just we're in a live chat or something, and then all of a sudden you'll hear chickens in the background, and so
the rooster just crowed really loud outside when you said that.
They hear us talk, and they're like, that motherfucker's in there talking about us. No. Awesome. So this year you guys are all going to be together in the same place again for the first time in a couple of years. Any big plans? Like, do you guys have, like a place that you guys are meeting up when you get there, or like going out to dinner? Like, and it's pretty momentous occasion. You guys getting together again for the first time. So what's going on?
Well, after the episode on Legion's Lounge the other night, Wealthy
Mhm.
Nate, he offered to actually fly the guys in on his private jet to New Jersey. So I'm gonna go pick them up in the private airfield, and
Yeah.
we're gonna get it cracking from there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I think we're gonna Nate. Yeah. I think we're gonna start out with a group hug that goes on uncomfortably too long. And then we'll just see where it goes from there, feel it out.
Yeah, make sure you film that because I mean people will want to see that for sure.
I know. Well, that's gonna go on
Look,
Eric's OnlyFans.
It's one thing to be part of a conversation you're not supposed to be listening to. I don't know about that one, Curtis.
So we did have a question here earlier. Somebody had asked any speculation about the day 2 Legions Con exclusives. So Wednesday we got a little kind of sneak peek at kind of what maybe is coming. We found out that it's Cosmic, and through a slip up, it sounds like it's at least a 2-pack, maybe more. So if that's correct, and it's a Cosmic, and it's something more than one figure, you guys got any thoughts on what you think that might be?
I don't, but I know I'm gonna love it, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, I've yet to not be blown away by a Cosmic figure, really. So, yeah, I mean, Cosmic 2-pack, bring it on. I have no idea what to even guess. I'm sure whatever I would guess would be wrong. But
well,
I mean,
let's add a tweak to that if we can, Curtis.
Sure.
What if you can't guess what you think it would be? What would you want to see?
I would like to see whatever they can do that is farthest from human. I'd like to see them keep pushing those boundaries and kind of redefining what that could be.
I mean, typically the Legions Con exclusives, it has to be stuff that's already tooled, or stuff that's ready.
Oh, for sure. He just asked what I would want it to be.
Yeah. So, well, I'm just kind of thinking like we've gotten like last year with the wall tour, we got something with basically like the Tusk body. We've had several different versions of the Tusk.
Something on the Novian lean buck would be cool. It's a really good buck.
Nice. Yeah, maybe something Sphexian.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I had to venture a guess,
yeah,
I guess we see pew pews, lots of pew pews.
Yeah,
pew pews. And if I had to say something I wanted to, it would be the opposite of Eric. I'd like to see humans and
same
lightsabers.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't think we'll see either one of those.
He wants Space Knights, guys. That's what he wants.
A lightsaber type weapon would be awesome.
I think I think Legion's Con exclusive is a good way, like the Blood Armor 2. They said last year that probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for a Legion's Con exclusive, because they weren't going to really probably do that in the regular line. So I think it gives them an opportunity to do some things they wouldn't normally do. So, something like a space cowboy or something, I think sounds like it would be right up that alley. Maybe you throw those bare Vorga arms on, the Novian lean body or something, and, some guns on the side. I don't know. That'd be kind of neat.
You got to
maybe
give
an Olek Igar version 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bad joke.
What did you say, Eric?
I think everybody had some bad jokes queued up on that one.
Yeah. I said maybe an Olek Thygar version 2.
Version 3.
Yeah.
2.5. I think whatever it's going to be cool, and we're going to enjoy it. I think the bigger one that I want to know is what's going to be the statue in the lobby. Like, because they did the big ogre, 2 years ago. Last year we got Ziri and we got Thygar. I think this year it's going to be something big. You got to guess, Noah.
What about this one's for Eric? What if it was Jacob Marley? I mean, we've seen Mythic, we've seen Cosmic. Why wouldn't it be Figure Obscura? Eric, this one's for you, buddy.
That would be rad.
I was also kind of thinking Figure Obscura. I think a headless horseman, like straight up like on the horse with flaming pumpkin head, like just like really do it big would be super fucking cool.
Go big.
Any of them. Monkey King would be rad.
Yeah, Monkey King would be awesome.
Yeah,
it'd all be awesome.
I know they're trying to play up the whole Legions aspect of it, like even the day 1, day 2 exclusives. It's Mythic Legion, Cosmic Legion, and Figure Obscura really isn't technically a Legions line, so I don't know. I'm just trying to think of some other options. I think maybe I don't know how they would do it, but a fucking troll would be awesome. Like, can you imagine like a to scale troll?
A 1-to-1 Necronominus would be mind blowing.
Yeah.
That was going to be my guess. Something from the Necronomicus wave, because I think it'll be hitting right around that point. So
yeah, that'd be super cool.
It was all 4 of the Dark 4 and their horses.
Oh, that would take.
I mean, there'd be nowhere to put it, but
I just see an Arethyr statue with a real horse that's painted red that they just have.
That's awesome. A different color.
It's going to be a totally unrobed Maximilius, just a bear skeleton, Yeah, I don't know. Sure, be cool. Somebody here says Slog. Jordan says Slog. That'd be another big boy.
It would be incredible.
Yeah.
You think they'll go back to a Cosmic statue? We got the 2 statues last year for Cosmic.
Yeah, we got two Cosmic.
We got an Ogre Scales Mythic one. Figure Obscura, I think, makes sense if they wanted to start adding that. Or do you think they try to even out like the Mythics line?
Well,
I think we're gonna get 2.
Trevor says inflatable bear, but what if it was like an actual, like the bear, like full size, fucking standing on the back legs bear?
I volunteer.
The words out of my mouth. I was gonna say Atlas riding the bear, and they made the statue of that.
Jesse has Atlas.
I thought you were saying. I thought you were saying a real bear. We were just going to feed someone, and I was like, "You can feed me."
All right, everybody. As you enter Legions Con, you have to sign this death waiver. No, the bear is really friendly, but sometimes he freaks out. I don't know. He's on. He's drugged.
It's like
right
the
now.
Horseman meets Jackass.
Bear. So hold on. I think I might have stumbled onto something. I think Jesse cosplaying as Atlas, like.
It would be more like cool. If Atlas was Thor in Endgame. Like nobody wants to see that version of Atlas.
That would be badass.
Yeah.
Curtis could cosplay as the bear.
That'll work.
You guys can't go inside the show though. You got to stay out in the hallway now with the other statues.
Damn it. Sorry. We just figured it out right here, right now. It has to happen.
I think Jesse should be Scapular and I'll be the unicorn.
Oh, that would be cool. Good idea.
Or we could both be the unicorn. Jesse could be the horn part, and I'll be the horse's ass.
I don't know where he was going with that one, Jesse.
Won't even have to dress up.
I am genuinely excited to see the look on Wyatt's face when he sees like life-size characters in the lobby and walks onto the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he hasn't seen Legions Con since it was that tiny little bingo room at the Rain PAL building.
Yeah. I was thinking that after listening to one of your guys' interviews, because I know just from 22 to 23, like the change was so massive, and not only that, but the venue is so much freaking nicer. Like it is way upscale. It is more upscale than we deserve, for sure. Like you walk into that place and you're like, I don't think I have a credit score high enough for this place.
Strength in numbers.
Right. But I can't even imagine for him, not being there for a couple years and walking in there. It's going to be mind blowing for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like Eric said, he hasn't seen it since the Police Athletic League bingo hall show.
Right,
which is a nice venue.
It was cool.
It was the first one I went to, so like having been there the 3 years since and watching each one, like if I went from that one to what this year's going to be, it would be
boom, right?
And I'm guessing 2 statues. I think we're going to get a Figure Obscura something, and I think we're going to get something very monumental Mythic, since it is the 10-year for Mythics this year.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's right. They got to make a big deal. Maybe it'll be a dragon.
Maybe
there is something that will tell us
like
for
climbing over that balcony.
What if it's
wasn't there like a balcony from the higher floor?
Yes.
Instead of a dragon, what if it's a dragonborn? What if we get like a Rakagor? That'd be kind of cool.
Then I
do
need
you think,
guys to help figure out how to put it into my car. What were you gonna say, Noah?
No, there's one way that we can know for sure.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our buddy Dan, I don't know if you guys had a chance to talk with Dan from what Slasher FX on Instagram. He's one of the guys that works on the project, one of the main fabricators on those.
Oh, nice. So we can
Super
get some
good
insider information.
No, well, no, he's not gonna. I'm not even gonna ask him or put him in.
I mean, we can put him in Jesse's basement. I don't know if you guys know about that, but that's a good way to get information out of people.
Information and other things.
Yeah.
So
Cornboy just left there. So
no, are you guys gonna be going to intern?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Super
Wouldn't miss
cool.
it for the
Well,
world. So
that's where you're gonna find out first, right?
Yeah. Yep. We actually
maybe I might not go upstairs.
Yeah, that's true.
You might
Yeah,
not.
I don't handle those stairs really well.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
that is just
I get dizzy.
Yeah.
It's a tight stairway.
It is a tight, winding stairway and not a lot of fun. So, but last year they had the stuff down in the open. In fact, Ryan Gonzalez, like we're sitting outside waiting for them to open the doors. You know, everybody kind of lines up early and everything before they open it up. And like we're out there and he goes, Ryan Gonzalez goes, "Hey, come here. And I go, "What?" He looks through the window. He goes, "Look." And we saw the Oleg Thygar like down the hallway through the window. I'm like, holy fuck. So that was before we even got in. So, but yeah, I'm sure it's going to be something amazing. I mean, shoot, if they go really big, it may not even be something that fits together in the studio. We may only see it in parts until it's actually in the hotel. So
yeah,
we'll see. It'll be cool though. Intern's going to be fun. I imagine that one's, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of shows that got like personal invites to intern. And I'm not sure, like, I mean, people have gotten personal invites before, but you've got like Saturday Day Live going, Euro Legion's going, you guys are going, we're going, Legion's ladies are going, Purple Gang's going. There's I think there may be something going on with that. I don't know. But I think it's, you know, we talked about the double anniversary and everything else, and intern's always fun anyway, but man, I
have a theory.
Do something really big. Yeah, hit me.
You guys want to hear my theory?
Yes.
No,
sure.
too bad. It's coming anyways. I heard. No, I'm just kidding. No. What if it's like a fight or something like that, or like a death match? I think I think our group
Legion
is pretty
shows.
stacked. You guys think that Eric is pretty mild and gentle, and you had a picture of him next to Gentle Ben, but you got to see that guy. Like all we got to do is cue him up with some, like, tell him that you were bad mouthing Labyrinth or something like that, and he's gonna tee up on you guys. Just
that works.
Watch out.
So you're saying you think that there's been too much competition in the Legion show world, and we need to eliminate some of these. Yeah,
totally.
So last one stands is the official Legion's podcast, and all the rest are out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that works.
Seems
well.
Legit.
I would say I would have to go back to Jesse and I's conversation with the Swedes last week. If it's a knife fight, I think Jesse and I lose. But if it's a tickle fight, I think we got a chance.
No,
yeah,
no.
I caught that bit.
I 100% lose a tickle fight. I broke a bed because of being tickled once. There's not any dirty, weird story.
Details on the Patreon.
No.
On the list of 100 things I thought we were going to talk about today, a tickle fight was not one of the ones that entered my mind.
Right?
Just so we're clear on that, this was.
See, that's why we don't prepare anything. Because A, that's too much work, and B, we don't get to stuff like that.
Well, you know who wins in a podcast tickle fight?
Everybody.
Everybody wins.
You know what?
Around me wins.
You know what the audio sounds like in a podcast tickle fight? It sounds a lot like 4-ish horsemen o'clock. Just a lot of giggling.
Dude. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
I like that too. That's a good one.
We speaking of 4-ish horsemen o'clock, Chris will be back this week. I think by Legion's Con we'll have the D13 toys in hand. the biblical adventures. So you guys in on those, or did you guys pick up any?
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any of the demons yet. I did pick one of the chocolate angels up for Easter. Man, the articulation on that thing is spectacular. He's been doing a great job on that. So it makes me very encouraged for the rest of that wave that's coming.
They are really fun figures. I've gotten all the exclusives so far.
Oh yeah.
And I'm one of the lucky ones to get a test shot from it too, which is cool.
Oh nice.
Oh, that's super cool.
I can't bring myself to open up those chocolate angels though.
Oh, the packaging was so unique. I love it.
I opened up I got the box and I took it inside and I went in the kitchen and opened it up and my wife was in there and I just lost it laughing as soon as I opened up the flaps and she was like, "What's going on?" And I just pulled one out and showed it to her. Yeah. And she was like, "Oh gosh," but it's so on brand and perfect,
Can you kind of, for anybody that may not have gotten it or seen it, can you kind of describe what it looked like when you opened up the packaging, like what you were talking about here?
Well, yeah, I mean, he packaged them as if they were like Easter chocolate bunnies or something. They have colored foil on them, like one's gold, one's blue, one's pink, and then they have like pastel plaid like ribbon bows tied around
like Easter grass and stuff in there.
Yeah, and Easter grass in the package too.
Yeah,
so good,
so funny.
It's just nice little touches. Yeah, I still need to try to score one of the pink ones, man. Those things went so freaking quick, and Darla's looking for one. She's, my wife never asked for like anything. Like she doesn't spend money on herself. She doesn't ask for stuff. And when we saw those angels the first time, she's like, "Oh, I really like that pink one." And I'm like, "Shit, I gotta." And I went in there, but it was like 30 seconds gone. So I just got to score me one of those. But yeah, he did a great job on the package. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, that's one thing you're going to get from Chris is something fun for sure. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how those are. The soft goods I thought were really good on that too. It was wired around the bottom and then wired around the cuffs and stuff. Because none of the demons had any soft goods. It's just different colors and stuff. But I thought the soft goods came out well. What out of all the demons that you've got, what's your favorite, Eric?
It's a tough one. They're all really fun. I think I really like the pink glow in the dark one.
That was the Legions Con exclusive?
Yeah, that was the short run one from Legions Con.
Gotcha. What about you guys? Have you picked up any of the demons yet?
I have not. I went in on the pre-order, the Kickstarter or whatever, but I don't have any in hand yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah, well, I know Wyatt ordered some stuff. I don't know if he picked up any of the demons, but I know he did. He jumped in on the line, I'm pretty sure.
Nice. Yeah, I should add, since you mentioned Wyatt, probably more than likely going to see him at the D13 table at some point in time.
Manning that
booth.
Yeah, he was sitting there for a while in 21. He was holding that table down.
Isn't he just going to get like a free all in from the Kickstarter for running that
probably
table?
Yeah, he should.
I mean, that'll be good for all the times that Chris leaves his table, because that happens like constantly. So
I didn't see him at his table the entire first Legion's Con. I only saw Wyatt. I'm like, when did you start your own line of biblical toys? So
yeah, you gotta like tackle him to the table. Like that dude cannot stand still for more than a couple minutes. I'm surprised he makes it through those 4 horsemen o'clocks. So did want to pull up, because this is coming up next weekend. We've actually got a couple different shows. I've got this one here, is the Sacramento Mythic meetup. I know Iz has been kind of doing the rounds similar to you guys, trying to really talk this up. Next Saturday and Sunday, the 4th and 5th. Let's see, where are you guys at? So Noah, you're up north, right? Michael, you're in Jersey. Eric's in Ohio. Joe, you're down south. Is that right?
Yeah, Florida, Orlando.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't think any of you guys are going to this. What about Wyatt?
Wyatt's going.
He is going? Okay.
He'll be there.
All right. So go see 1/5 of Mythic Enablers next week if you want to be enabled. And yeah, yeah, check that out. I hear the last one was a lot of fun. So, you know, if you're in that area, you probably don't get a lot of toy shows or things like that. So check it out. Should be a good time. And then over on the east side, I don't have a screen thing for it, but Jesse, I know you're doing a show same weekend next week. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Next weekend is the Lehigh Valley, was it Toy and Comic-Con, Toy and Collectible? I don't know. There's like 2 Lehigh Valley comic collectible cons like a month apart, and they're in different cities. But Len and I are going to be running the Wolf King table, and Len's going to be hosting the Four Horsemen Street team. So I don't know who else from the studio is going to be there, but they'll have, you know, the typical, you know, street team studio prices, that sort of thing, at the table. And then I'll be running the Wolf King table right next to it with all the parts and goodies, showing off stuff from myself and other folks that have things. Some of Curtis's stuff that I brought back from SkiCon will be on display, and just and I think it's the first time that the Horsemen are going as like a street team to this event. I'm sure there's been Mythic Legion sold at tables, but not as a Horseman event. So hopefully it'll be like a fun show to get to introduce some people to the line and be that kind of like educational style show. Like that's fun to do.
And that's in Pennsylvania. Is that Saturday and Sunday? Or is
it's just Saturday in Easton, Pennsylvania. So it's right across the river from New Jersey, the Delaware River, in like Len's calling it his hometown show because it's like right across the river from him. So
okay,
it's about an hour and a half for me.
So probably not for most of you, but Michael, are you going to that?
Sorry, it's having an issue there. No, not going.
Gotcha.
Mike's a busy man. He has like 2 hours of free time during every week, and he chooses to do podcasts during that time.
That's cool. Well,
it's true. It sounds like a joke, but it's like super, super true, man. My kids keep me super busy. My son, it's like the middle of baseball season right now. So he's got, if it's not practice, it's a game. If something doesn't get rained out, they reschedule it for Sunday. So I'm all over the place.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's, you know, family's important. I'm glad you're having that time with them. But if some time frees up next week, you know, kids like toys too. And there's going to be some cool toys at Lehigh Valley in Easton, Pennsylvania. So there you go.
Right on.
And Jesse, nice. Who doesn't like Jesse? You know, I'm sure he'll have his goat too, which will make him laugh. So you get to see Jesse with his shaking, laughing goat. So
it doesn't laugh. It sings a Christmas song.
Well, Jesse will
laugh.
Yeah.
Jesse, I like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe, my wife's family had like a cookout at our house, and we had our goats out, and we ended up feeding them like these like the veggie tray like got knocked off the table or something. So we were like feeding the goats veggies, and I almost sent you a video of one of the goats.
That would have made my day.
This is like the creepiest thought I've ever had. So
why didn't you do it?
Not at all.
I've still got it. I'll send it to you, man.
There you go. Make it happen.
Like seriously, there are times I will just go to YouTube and look up like goat videos, and I'll find like the hour-long compilation and just like giggle at goats for an hour.
So
giggling with goats.
Hey, whatever.
So there's kind of the flip side, you know. Michael has no time. He's going running around doing things with his family, and Jesse's spending an hour looking at goat videos. So that's the world. Yeah, this is the world we live in. So
is that? I had a question for you. Is that Lehigh, Pennsylvania show? Is that the one that they do in the centrifuge? It like takes place inside of a centrifuge.
No. That's ZoloCon.
Yeah. Oh, ZoloCon. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That one's the one that's usually like the end of February.
Okay.
So it was the weekend of the in-stock sale this year.
Oh, all right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. I hear
that's
about
a cool
that.
one. If you guys ever come out for that, it's a cool spot. Like the building's really, it's a pain in the butt to like load in and out as set up, just because it was a centrifuge. It wasn't designed for like mass loading and unloading of equipment and stuff. So, but it's a really cool, weird little venue.
Yeah.
I've been saying for the last 2 years that I'm going to go to that one. I said it last year, this past, but it's because it's only like an hour and a half away, but something inevitably always comes up and I'm like, damn, can't go.
I would love to make it to that show.
Yeah. I hear it's fun. Do have a question for Noah here from B-Dog. Do you feel out of place being the only one without a beard?
Yeah, Joe, that freaking sellout.
It won't last long. He'll have company soon. I mean, he's got Wyatt. He's got Wyatt guy.
Wyatt.
I was gonna say Wyatt's clean shaven, right?
I think he's they're talking about on the screen, but yeah.
Oh.
I have a question. I'm not familiar. Who's V-Dog? Do we know who is that? Somebody that I know?
I don't know. But they've got it looks like a Mythic Legions Tactics profile
Probably
pic.
somebody awesome.
And I feel like a little PTSD, based on how long it took me to get those figures. So I'm just saying, just throwing that out there.
Is it still too soon?
Show me where that video game hurt you.
V-Dog?
All over, man. All over.
V-Dog, if you're out there.
Eric sent me the video right now.
Please reply back in the comments with your actual full name, social security number, date of birth, address. We want to know who you are, V-Dog.
So
exactly. Can we see a live reaction, Jesse? I want to see a live reaction to the video that Eric.
He's just going to be giggling the rest of the time.
I don't know how audio works, if this will work, but let's bring it up.
No, it's fine. Just your reaction's fine.
You'll probably hear my kids talking and stuff in it.
Okay. Yeah, Eric, let me make sure. Is that okay, Eric, to play it live?
I think it's fine.
I love it. There we were.
And this is our Sunday night.
That's it, man.
Does he even have teeth?
They're in there somewhere.
He's having a hell of a time. Look at him. Oh, God.
This is me eating Oreos on my couch at like 1 a.m. watching a movie.
All right.
You're welcome, everybody.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you guys know you'd be
I'm
here?
I'm gonna need a
doing
picture
this?
of that goat.
We're gonna add that to the list of things I didn't think we were gonna talk about today, along with Curtis's tickle fight and also him dressing up as a unicorn.
This show's gone completely off the rails.
This is what we normally talk about. So
I found that to be funnier than I thought it was going to be. A lot more entertaining than I thought it would be.
I'm gonna need a photo of that goat so I can use it to paint the goat custom I have with some I think Immortal Collection head from Legion Shop.
Right on. You want some reference? I got some reference.
Just don't let him show you how to paint goat eyes because it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's unnerving.
There's people in the community.
Do a Google search for
day...
baby horse hooves.
No. Oof. That sounds like a trap.
Yeah. There's people in the community hoping to one day have a tribute figure after them, and Eric's goat's gonna have one by Josie. Good stuff.
Well, man, I should have kept my mouth shut.
So you guys have been meeting, doing these shows and chatting for the last couple of years. I'm sure that enabling and loving Legions isn't the only thing that you guys talk about or have in common. So what other common interests have you guys found? Is there certain whether it's TV shows, movies, books, anything else that you guys talk about occasionally?
A lot of things, everything. I mean, we all come once in a while with our own personal stuff that we have in our lives. The chat for the most part is light. We talk about the figures and the line a lot. But it's also not uncommon when one of us is going through stressful times or whatever, come and vent a little bit to the rest of the group, and everybody kind of just gives that moral support. And that's the difference, I think, between your acquaintances and your friends, right? Is that you can count on those people to do that. And that part's always good, but that's not predominantly like what we discuss. I think a lot of our interests align and we all kind of like gravitate towards specific things. I know, Joe, he was big in the Drizzt books for a long time. We spoke about that before, but me and Noah were reading them kind of like simultaneously. So while we were going through them, and he was like always like 1 or 2 volumes ahead.
Just kidding.
Eric just drinking a soda, looking at the ceiling. Home to home to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everything kind of makes it into the chat.
Well, it's a good
sure.
point that you make there, though, because you know, you guys are talking about life in general and stuff, and it all stems from you guys making friends at that one intern. So, you know, there's, you know, we've seen this, you know, past couple weeks with the whole mystery box thing. People are trying to do trades in the community, and they're reaching out, trying to do reference checks and stuff. And there's some folks out there that haven't really made connections with people. They haven't, you know, they maybe they don't know how, maybe they haven't seen the opportunity, maybe they whatever. You guys went to an event, you know, found these folks that you really didn't have much, you know, that you didn't know much about, and formed this friendship that's been, you know, lasting for the last few years, and now has culminated in you guys doing a show together. So any kind of advice that you give people that are either just coming into the community, or maybe they've been in the community but they've not made any of those personal connections?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just go out there and put yourself out there and just chat with people. You know, just go, you know, respond on posts. You know, you know, if you're not somebody that usually posts online, or like, you know, you don't think you make friends real well, everybody in the Cabal is a solid community, and most of the people, excuse me, are very cool people. They're gonna actually love to chat with you about it. It's like a common interest. Like, don't be scared to like start up a chat with somebody, or respond on their post, or tell them, hey, I like your custom, or like cool pickups, or nice haul, or whatever. Like, everybody is like of like-minded. You're in that group because you love collecting these toys. So like, you know, don't feel like you're bothering somebody. I bet you more than 9 times out of 10, I bet you 10 times out of 10, you're reaching out to somebody that's going to love to chat with you about whatever you're talking to about. So just don't be scared to chat with people. And that's how you start up friendships. And that's how me and Mike started talking one day, and Noah and Eric and Wyatt, and then met each other at the Legion's Con in person and just clicked. So, you know, and each one of us, and including you, Curtis, and you, Jesse, I mean, you guys all have connections with, you know, hundreds of people in, you know, it's not just the 5 of us in our chat, or the 2 of you in your chat. Like, you have hundreds of friends that you're friends with now. Dennis Derby, Anthony Houseel, you know, Anthony Vlez, like, just name them. You just rattle off names of people that you know, and it's all stemmed from people going out on a limb and reaching out and talking to somebody.
And I know it's, you know, as far as like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, as far as like being online and responding to posts and liking things, and there's a certain amount you can definitely do there, but there is something special about Legion's Con and hanging out with people that maybe you don't normally interact with, and you know, meeting up in the lobby, or, you know, catching each other outside of a pub, or hanging out outside around the fire pit, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you know, I've seen this person around, I know their name, but I've never really interacted with them. And now we're just sitting around having a conversation, and that it's I don't know, it seems a lot easier in person to make that one-on-one personal connection and form a friendship that then, you know, lasts a while.
Yeah. I would actually say, not to put you on the spot, that I had that exact, sorry to cut you off, Mike, but I have to here. I had that exact situation with you, Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I chatted with you online and seen you obviously online, but then I met you in person at Legion's Con, and it was, you know, I got to meet you, and like, you are like just as like a sweet human being that I enjoy quite thoroughly. So yeah,
I got a reputation here, and you're kind of ruining it. Just so you know.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say that's not what I hear, Joe.
Poking holes in that facade, people. He's not really the curmudgeon heel turn that he gives it here on the show. So he's a big softy, everybody. He's a big softy.
I was gonna say it's definitely easier to make that connection in person. And of course, like, when you're going to the show and you've been there a few years, you're looking forward to seeing the people that you spend so much time with already, right? Like, I know right off of the bat, I mean, there's so many of you guys I'm looking forward to seeing, but I want to make sure I get my time with, you know, Eric, Wyatt, Joe, and Noah. Right. But I also make it a point to, hey, you know what? I'm going to eat at least one of my meals and try to make small talk with somebody else that maybe I know who they are, maybe I don't. And every single Legion's Con so far, I've come away knowing somebody, multiple people, in fact, that I didn't know prior to going into that show. As far as, you know, not everybody can make it to Legion's Con. So when you were talking about like advice for like newer collectors, I feel like people that come into the group a lot of them aren't new to the hobby. They might be new to the line, but they're not new to whatever else they collect. So there's like a stigma or whatever it is. There's something you feel in that toxicity a lot of times when you're coming from other toy lines and groups. So I understand when people come in and they're hesitant about, their first trades or their first purchase or whatever the case may be, especially when, there are people that are well established in the cabal that, I mean, you send money blind to friends and family, you don't question it, and they don't understand. Well, I would never do that. It's kind of a little bit of a leap of faith, particularly with the trades, because everybody here at some point was brand new to the group and nobody knew who you were, and somebody had to take a chance on you. So I've kind of gotten to that point where when I'm doing my trades with people, I always ask for references. If they don't have any, it's not necessarily like a red check against them as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if I'm trading them like a $400 figure or something, then maybe. But at the end of the day, if I'm rolling the dice on losing a $50 figure to give a new guy a chance so that I could be a reference for him later, then I'm more than happy to do it. And once they kind of see that a lot of people in the group are like that, it opens them up a little bit too, because our community really is not like any other like toy group out there. Everything's got their drama. We have our little moments, after sales or when something doesn't go, the way some of us may want it to. But yeah, man, you got to show a little bit of a leap of faith. If you're coming into this community, yes, people are tight. People have bonded now for years prior to a lot of us even coming into it. But you can form some really, really strong friendships, and all that takes is just a little show of confidence. You got to put yourself out there a little bit too, as difficult as that might be for you. You got to do it.
I'm glad that you said that. Michael, do you remember your and I's first interaction?
You sent me some soft goods for free. It was a very, very positive first interaction. Absolutely.
I did, but before that, you took the time to reach out to me to say, hey, because I had posted a picture of my Hera with the Max Bird soft goods, which I think is one of the best soft goods sets ever made. They did a killer job. And you reached out to me to ask me like, where that was from and stuff, because you thought it was cool. I just so happened to have ordered an extra one, which I didn't need. And so, yeah, I sent that to you. You sent me a Sword Horseman that you had picked up at a show. I think they had it on the table and stuff.
Sword Horseman.
Cool. Yeah. And so, yeah. And it was just like, that was our first time talking. And that's the kind of stuff that happens in this community that you don't see in a lot of other toy communities, but it all stems from the first thing is you actually reached out to ask me about it and stuff. And I think that's kind of, gets to what you're saying. Like, you got to just reach out and make those connections, talk to people, take a chance to just have a conversation with somebody. I did like what you said too about, sitting, with folks that maybe you haven't spent a whole lot of time with. Recently Eric, I, and Jesse were all at MuskeCon, a few months ago, or actually a little over a month ago. We go up there. It's a smaller event. It's in that same area as My Wife Is Going to Kill Me guys. Like, that's like their home turf and stuff. So I kind of figure when I go up there, I usually stay at least a day with Stephen Bisciotti, stay at his house. And I kind of figure that's where I'm going to spend most of my time, is kind of hanging around those guys and stuff. Well, the problem with those My Wife Is Going to Kill Me guys, if you haven't really spent much time with them, is they can't make a fucking decision to save their life. Like, they are just, none of them want to make a decision. They don't talk with one another. They don't coordinate anything. They just kind of do whatever it is that they do. And so
part of the charm,
I guess. So I told Jesse, I'm like, I'm going to eat in the hotel restaurant. Whoever's there is there, like, whatever. And we ended up sitting with Eric and sitting with Brett Stoddard and Dusty Standiford and Brian Lynn and Alexander Deshaw. And I probably wouldn't normally have had a meal with that crew, maybe a few of them, like one or two here and there. It's not like I had anything against them, but it's just not something that I normally would have found myself in that group. And it was one of the best meals I ever had. I enjoyed it. It was so much fun. We got to talking and laughing, and Jesse was like cackling and rolling over, and, he was laughing so hard. And I walked out of there feeling much closer to each of those people at the table. And so sometimes it is, a matter of kind of getting out of your comfort zone a little bit and, talking to some of these other folks that maybe you haven't spent a lot of time with. And I think shows, whether it's Legions Con, whether it's this Lehigh Valley, Sacramento, Mythic meetup, they do give us an opportunity to have a little bit more of those, one-on-one personal interactions. I don't know, Eric, you were there for the same. I mean, what was your takeaway from that dinner? Like, did you feel the same way, or was it just a fucking meal and you didn't care?
No, I
pressure. You're on the spot.
No, it's fine. Jesse had me rolling, man. I don't even remember what it was that got us going, but I felt like if one of us didn't make ourselves like stop laughing, we would have just never stopped laughing at that table. But yeah, the food sucked, but the company was great.
Yeah,
those mozzarella sticks were pretty good.
They were actually, yeah. Thanks for sharing, by the way.
I have a question. I'm asking for a friend. How were the pretzels?
They were plentiful. It was Joe's dream.
Yeah. There was nothing wrong with the portions. The portions were huge. I don't know that it was delicious, but it was definitely good portions.
I love pretzels. I'm like Stanley on The Office. Like pretzel day, I start shoving people, get out of the way. But there was nothing else. It was like 2 kinds of soft pretzels and like pretzel rods, and I loved it. But I was like,
rods, you say?
Actually hungry.
I think the balls were the best, though.
The balls were good.
They were.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where
have a good night, buddy.
You took one look at the pretzel bar and you're like, this has to be a joke. Like, look around to see where the other food is. And you're like, it's not here, man. It's just.
They had a whole pretzel bar,
dude. It was just pretzels. Yeah,
oh
that was for the meetup part, not for the
heaven.
Yeah, that wasn't the rest of the.
It was like they were trying to lure Joe in. Like, for everybody that doesn't know, Joe, like when he goes out to Jersey for Legions Con and everything, like he strictly survives solely on pretzels, soft pretzels, beer cheese, maybe a little
the martinis.
Yeah, and martinis. So just a little spoiler alert.
I feel like the pub had decent pretzels there too.
The pub had decent everything. I loved that pub, by the way.
Yeah,
me
pub
too.
was
Great Guinness pour too.
I only ate there once, but it was really good. I liked the.
Well, you failed Legions Con 23 then, man, because it was good.
I like the little sandwich stand thing that they had going like during the con, like where you just kind of like pop out and grab something. That was really nice too.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They had good egg sandwiches there in the morning. That was good.
I didn't have that, but I might have to try that. I ate what was it, like a $20 breakfast they had like in the little restaurant thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did the a la carte line by the windows. Like
I did that for lunch, but for breakfast I hit the thing. But anyhow,
for folks watching this that have not been to Legions Con, like I pulled in Thursday night and Curtis started handing me stuff and I didn't leave until Monday morning. Like I went outside to take stuff to my car, but I did not leave the parking lot for 3 days.
I think I went across the street to that was it Wegmans? I went on a booze run and then I never left the hotel.
I took you to Wegmans.
I really wish you wouldn't have said Wegmans though, because fucking Van Johnson will not leave me the fuck alone about Wegmans. He keeps talking about, apparently they've got a bourbon there that's a store pick where they do some sort of special. They have some guy that it's his job to pick out like the best bourbon and make it their store pick. And so like leading up to this year, he keeps talking about who's bringing the Wegmans, and it's like rock stars that need the only green M&Ms and that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So now that you said it, it's gonna start coming up in the chat.
No, Curtis,
we just let it go.
We can fix this for you. There's literally a Wegmans right down from where I work. I didn't know he was pestering you for Wegmans stuff.
Oh yeah,
like, Wegmans is not special to me. So like,
but it's got to be the store pick bourbon. It's got to be like the
right. I understand. I understand that now. But like, everybody was talking about when I moved back here like 12 years ago. Oh, Wegmans, blah blah. I went in there and I was like, I hate this place. Like, it was the most like hipster grocery store I've ever been in. Now I've and I say it because like everybody's walking through with like these deluxe shopping carts, like. It was all these like young families with like 5 kids and these giant shopping carts, and like everything's in the aisle that they're like squeezing juice for you fresh there. I'm like, I just want to go get some milk. Can I get some milk?
Squeezing juice fresh? All right.
Yeah, I don't know if that might be a slight exaggeration, but like it's like walking into I think it's supposed to feel like you're in a farmer's market, but like there's no one like at the stands. It's just all crowded in, and then you got the older folks who are just going to get whatever their normal groceries are, and then you've got the really picky folks going for their very specific things. And I'm like, I can't move, and I hate not being able to move in a store.
It's okay, Jesse. Show us on the doll where the Wegmans hurt you.
All over.
But back to Jesse's point, he is right though. If you get a room at the hotel that the con is at, you can essentially stay there the whole time if you want to and not have to leave. Now, I do know that rooms have been selling out, and they've got the overflow hotels, which, I'm sure those are great too. I don't know. If you see something open up at the actual hotel that the con is at, like, that is definitely the way to go. I would never do anything other than that again, because it is just so nice to be able to just hang out in the lobby until you just hit your wall, and then just go straight up to your room, go to sleep, get up in the morning, and start it all over again.
Absolutely. So, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for my Wegmans rant. There is nothing actually wrong with the store. Just everybody made it out to be this paradise, and I was like, I'll just buy groceries at the gas station.
Apparently, you can get the milk straight from the cow too.
Who knew Jesse hated his freshly squeezed juice so much? How dare you squeeze this juice for me, you filthy hipster?
It's not. Look, I have spatial problems, okay?
Now, if they had a goat in there, Jesse would be all for it.
Yeah, if they were milking a goat, he would have been like, "That's the best place."
Yeah,
it's like a petting zoo. Just in a supermarket.
You got me. True.
Joe, what's up with that voice? That was cool. Where'd that come from?
I love that that's my voice in your head.
Yeah, totally. I'm Jesse.
This carrot is amazing.
So we are a few days away from the beginning of May. All right. We'll be 4 months through the year. We've gotten 0 new figures. And we know it's a big year, double anniversary, stuff's coming. It's going to be coming hard and fast. What do you think's coming next? And like, what do you anticipate between now and Legion's Con? What do you think we're getting? Like, we've not be figures, but like certain waves or whatever.
We've got to be dangerously close to a figure obscura. I've gotta say.
Yeah.
Last
one was right? Marley, right? So yeah.
I mean, there was 3 last year, and we're getting in. We're almost to May. And
when did we get Monkey King last year? When did that drop?
It was May. It was early May. Yeah,
okay. It's time. It's coming.
I'm guessing once the mystery box sales done shipping, I think that the next full weekend after that will be a figure obscura.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, and I would imagine with no Power Con this year, and it sounds like most of the effort that's been going towards PowerCon the past couple of years is kind of going towards IshCon this year. So I would guess that that's probably where we're going to get I don't know about larger, but maybe the next cosmic wave is probably going to be revealed there, would be my guess. Sounds like there's no all-stars this year. We just had the mystery box. So do you think that we'll get some sort of like story mythic wave or something leading up to Legion's Con? I mean, clearly it's not going to just be quiet between now and Legion's Con. We're going to get something. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I can't imagine we won't get any Legions between now and Legion's Con. That would be crazy. They've already said it's going to be Legion's heavy year. So.
Yeah, it's the 10-year anniversary, so
right.
Big time. I think they said it on the Wednesday show that they're definitely going to be having a bunch of stuff slide out as far as reveals coming pretty hot and heavy soon. But
yeah, like they keep saying, like, just wait. Like there's this big warning coming, and I'm just like, I don't know. I usually spend my year preparing for whatever the big reveal is in November, so I don't know. And without there being like an actual all-star wave this year, and them still kind of saying like, oh, like your wallet's gonna be hurting a little bit. It's a little scary.
It's dragon time, people.
Dorklayer saying, I think we'll see an anniversary drop of some sort. So I know they're working on a book that's like the first 10 years of Legions. What if it was something like that, some sort of anniversary wave that was just all version 2s? It was just that's something that they've been talking about for the last couple weeks is version 2s. What if they over the past 10 years they pick whatever 6, 7, 8 figures that they did version 2s of, and that's what we get. Was that something that would interest you guys? Yeah.
Take my money.
As long as it's not like a 30 figure wave, like I'm all aboard. Absolutely.
Yeah, they did say they're done with that, and I'm glad because those are rough.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of voting tied into that. I don't know how the timeline would work out. Like I know that we've seen that they have some things in the can like faces of previously or previously helmeted characters like where, Eric's like, hey, we've got the face, the head sculpts already done for most of these characters. I think as long as they get the time frame down, I know that it would be kind of a push, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see some sort of voting on the version 2s.
Yeah, I mean, normally I've heard people talk about like voting for a version 2s in the past, and I've thought, it'd be hard to go from like, first of all, what do they show us? Like, are they going to show us just renders or whatever? If we're voting on which ones are to be made, and even if they just mocked up some prototypes, typically the way that their schedule and process works, by the time they open up a pre-order, you want to have like be pretty well into the tooling and everything else. Now, if they did it with just stuff that's already available, like let's say stuff that they've already tooled through Rising Suns, and then you're voting on stuff that's kind of just using that tooling, that does make it a little bit quicker. But I don't know, how do you guys think that would work as far as voting for a version 2? Like, would they just mock up some prototypes? Would they do some renders? How do you think that would work?
I don't like the idea of voting, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You don't trust the fans.
Just give them all to us.
Yeah.
Well, there's a handful of version 2s that we obviously have been waiting heavy for a long time. So I don't know, man.
I tell you
voting. I just don't trust people. I
like don't either.
People, but I don't trust them.
I'm scared we're gonna get a version 2 Hagnon or something. Oh my god!
I've never been a part of the vote where they actually like create a character based on the voting. I think it would be cool if they did, like Dorklayer saying, like an anniversary wave. Maybe they give us like 6 version 2s that Eric thinks like these are, ones that I feel like needed updates or whatever. And, we all trust Treadaway. And then they give us one that it's like a thing that we vote on as a community and say, hey, what kind of head would you want? What kind of body? What kind of color scheme? Whatever. That would be kind of cool if it was like one figure that we voted on and the rest were already pre-planned.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. Were you guys around for those other? What was it? There was 2, wasn't there? There was Borges, and wasn't there another one? Ravena. Okay. And how did that work? Like, what was the process like? And did you guys participate in that?
I think I was the only one around at that time. It was all done through the Four Horsemen forums, which I tried my best to contribute, but I felt like a boomer in those forums. I just could not. I couldn't navigate them. So I mean, I think I got a few votes through, but yeah, they would do like 1 week or 1 day or whatever. They would say, okay, now we're voting on the torso. Okay. This day we're going to vote on the head, like that sort of thing. And then they would get all the pieces together, and then they started doing color mock-ups for people to vote on. And then, after the color mock-ups, everything kind of fell into place.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
It was a cool process. It was cool being there, watching it from beginning to end. I was on Team Jade Knight for sure when they did the Vorgus, but Vorgus is still.
You
really
just got
cool
Joe's
too.
attention.
Everybody say Knight.
Yeah.
If they went back to like a fan vote to create a figure, I think that would be really, really cool and something I'd want to be a part of. But I don't think I would want it to be a part of like an anniversary release of version 2s, because I wouldn't want that holding up the release of those figures. Like if the company came to us with whatever 5, 6, 7 version 2s and said, hey, this is the wave that we're doing, cool, we'll get those done, and then you could do the votes separate, and like that could be its own thing. But that's just my own personal feelings on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the anniversary year, you know.
Right.
It's like next year's not the anniversary year. So if we're voting on things and we're getting figures next year, but this is the anniversary year.
Right.
So I really hope that there's some sort of drop that's going to be in our hands this year.
Yeah, I bet they have something produced and ready to go exactly along that line for the anniversary. I would be surprised if they didn't.
I think that's why they're clearing out warehouse space.
Well, that makes sense.
I mean, listen, I don't want to be the one to bring it up because it's brought up a lot, but what if it's a dragon? What if the dragon has already been made, mocked up, built? It's going to be like an in-stock sale kind of thing, and that's what they need warehouse space for, is a whole bunch of dragons.
But do you think they would do something on that scale and like without any type of like order backing?
I feel like it would be a gutsy move to make that order without knowing.
I mean, I would love that instant gratification.
Yeah,
like I would love for them to drop it and be like, boom, ordered.
I mean, to Eric's point, not only is this the double anniversary year, but this is the year of the dragon. So if you order it this year and they make it, and then next year is not the year of the dragon. So getting it next year doesn't mean the same. It's not as good.
But it was revealed. If it's revealed in the year of the dragon.
Yeah, but it's different being revealed versus getting it.
I feel you. Believe me, I'm not arguing. I would love to have it in hand this year. I just don't know like we're being honest, I don't know realistically if that's a gamble. I see both. Like how many do you order? Is 10,000 enough? Is 20,000 enough? And then if it's not, if it's super expensive, if it's what they're telling us, if it's a 2-foot dragon, you know what I mean? Like how many do you order? Like how
what something where they did a partial order that's in stock, but they still take pre-orders to do more. You know what I'm saying? Like they would still manufacture more. They're making a lot of room in the warehouse. Like if you go back to the in-stock sale,
but don't forget Necronominus is coming though. Like Jeremy said, like they're still aiming for mid-year, and that was a pretty big wave, and All-Star 6+. So really combine those two, because they're doing them at the same time. You have Cosmic coming. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we've already paid for that is inbound, and it's not just inbound.
But a lot of that stuff is coming really soon. It's not like they're gonna just sit on that stuff, right? I mean, like the All-Stars wave, like that's gonna come in. It's gonna come in and probably ship within 2 weeks and be out of there. As long as
but look how much of that product they're still sitting on. You know what I mean? Like look at the mystery boxes. There's literally
that's why they've been clearing some of this stuff out.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly. But that's what I mean. Like a lot of that, they're getting a lot of inventory. This isn't like secretive stuff. This is stuff that we know is definitely coming. So that's a lot of product. That's
there
just
was
my
stuff
guess.
on that in-stock sale that I didn't expect to be on the in-stock sale. It was like, oh wow, this is some good shit on here. And then to turn it around and right after the in-stock do the mystery box, it's like. And they're clearing out a lot of room from shit.
Listen, I would love for you to be right
and everything.
I hope you are. I would love to have that dragon in hand this year.
Well, and I don't know. I'm not saying that it is that. I was just throwing that out there as an idea. But I think something's coming in besides what we already know. There's something that is to Eric's point. I think there's something that we're going to get revealed this year that we're also going to get in hand this year. And I don't know what that is, but I think he's right.
I think Jesse nailed it too when he said that they're going to have something for that 10th anniversary, like already ready to go, that they're just going to be like, all right, here you go. This is a surprise. We didn't tell you about it, but everything we make is cool and we know you're going to love this. And we're going to be like, yeah, you're right. We do love it. Give me 20 of them.
A Knight's head pack, you know,
it'd be a white knight.
Give me a knight's head pack. I can see what Sir Godfrey looks like, and Sir Dalaran, and
I'm at half mast. Stop teasing me, you son of a gun.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like you guys have said, like a wave, like a small wave of version 2s of important characters that they just haven't found a place to work into the story type waves they've been doing, and something like that, a heads pack where it's got, maybe it's not specifically Godfrey or Calavius or something, but like it clearly can go with them.
I love that.
And I'm not much of a betting person. I don't know how their whole model worked beyond what they've shared, but I think something more like that would be more practical than the dragon, because that is a huge risk to, like you guys have said, to have the dragon in hand this year and announced this year would be really cool. But that's such a huge departure from all the other tooling and stuff they've done that they've probably want to tweak that a lot and, have the time for the buildup of a backed pre-order for it.
All right, you ready for total like tinfoil hat time? Like, you ready?
Here it comes. No, okay. But here it comes anyway.
So, like the wave that we just got with Boxtus, right, had the brute scale figures, right, and then you turn around and Necronominus, 0 brute scale, right? Rising Suns, no brute scale. Yeah, there was an ogre, but no brute scale. So that factory that was doing the brute scale, they do the bigger stuff, right? There's 2 factories. The factory does all the like the 1.0s, 2.0s, and then there's the other factory does like the ogres and the brute scale kind of thing. That factory that does the bigger stuff had 2 waves of really not much going to that. So I think that's a good opportunity to work on something big. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You put a lot of thought into this. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just saying. There's an opportunity.
They had horses.
Big. Yeah.
They had what, 3 horses?
I don't know which factory makes the horses. I don't know if it goes to the like ogre factory, or I don't think it does, because when they've been
the horses were part of the held up with the Alithia wave.
I don't think with this past one though it was though. They were waiting on the Tharnog and the genie. Though everything else was shipping out, including Poxus and its horse. So I think that was done in the regular warehouse.
So you think it's all hands on deck manufacturing the dragon right now that hasn't been released yet?
I think the one factory that's been their primary focus. And I also think that George and Chris were there this past couple weeks, making sure that it's finishing up and getting ready to get put on the water. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Curtis Ackerman spilling the beans. He knows when the dragon's coming.
I said tinfoil hat. So
it's not an anniversary. It's a dragonversary.
I'll be elated if you're right. I'm like extremely happy.
Dorkler comments I think pretty good insight. Bill's pretty good at pegging things here. I think they're realizing the power of a single SKU as well. Simplified in stock sale. This will be one option only. One specific anniversary 4-pack, no options for separate purchases. Kind of like it's just an all-in kind of thing.
I could see that. Shit, I would love if they went to like the old Maddie Collector one, where we just like pay them, a fee, and they just send us a new figure every month. Like
I've been saying that for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. So, because I love the figure, the whole. I mean, first of all, I love Figure Obscura. I love the like anticipation. I love the story. I love the reveal. And then just the fact that it goes from showing it to having it in hand in like several days. But you don't have to take forever. So if they did that kind of format with even just like Mythic Legions, like they showed you 2 new Mythic Legions and you order it, and within 4 or 5 days you got it in hand, dude. Yeah. Hell yeah. I would take that. Not to say that they would move their whole, ordering to that. You got to do the pre-order model and that kind of thing. But mixing in a couple of those individual drops, similar to what they do with Figure Obscura, would be really cool.
Oh, please don't threaten me with instant gratification, Mythic Legions. That
Right.
would be horrible.
Right?
All right. Can I make a slight pivot? Or
Sure. You
Yes.
pivot whatever you want.
Someone asked this earlier in the comments. I forgot to start, so I don't remember. We're talking about Figure Obscura type drops, possibly one coming soon, potentially. Any predictions? Any thoughts? Something? We'll just go round. Start with Joe and come around to me and Curtis last.
I'm terrible with the Figure Obscura.
What would you want to see?
No. This is not my ballpark. But I'm not great at this, so I'm gonna steal Sig's comment from earlier, and I'm wondering if that's Sig Henriquez that I know that I've seen from Puerto Rico. But is it him? Oh yeah, I like this cat. So I'm gonna steal his from earlier. I would love to see the 3 Musketeers. That would be badass.
Okay.
I'd buy several of those.
The 3 of them and D'Artagnan, or just the 3?
however they want to give them to me, I will take them. I'll take several, and I'm going to definitely use some of those boots for fodder and coats and all that stuff. I would love to see Three Musketeers. Actually, he said that earlier. I know he's making fun of my beard, which is fantastic that he said that. But I like his idea as well. So thanks.
Okay,
I'm stealing that from everybody.
How about you, Eric?
I really don't know. I never would have guessed any of the ones that we got. I mean, the Four Horsemen, or sorry, the Headless Horseman was one that I kind of saw coming. I had actually made the custom and planned the custom like way before that one came out. But like when they started doing figure obscuras, I was like, oh, I just wasted my time on this. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it could be anything. And I think that it would be cool to use it as an excuse. I'm going to sound like Joe right now, but I think it would be a good way to use it as an excuse to make like a more traditional like knight character or something that's a little bit more historically accurate. I know it's not pulling from like mythology or literature or anything like that, but I mean, it's a way to do something that's like, that fits in with the line, but isn't necessarily like 100% in with the line, but could kind of fill that gap for the people who have really been wanting like a 100% accurate character in that vein.
Ooh.
Go, Joe.
Can I take mine back then? Because
yes.
Eric just reminded me, like, there is a figure obscura I do want to see, and I totally forgot about this. I'm sorry, Sake. I got to take it back, buddy. I love your idea of Three Musketeers. It was really cool. But King Arthur, like any of like the Knights of the Round Table, like that would be rad. Oh my God. Wholesome Warlock, who are you right now? You need to play the lotto tonight.
I think that would be great too. But you know, like most people that know me know, I mean, I'm down for like monsters. I'm down for.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I really like, you know, the literary characters, especially the ones who are like kind of more on the spooky side. Like, obviously, I love Marley. I didn't know about Red Death when it came out, but I did a deep dive when that figure came out, and I really kind of fell in love with that story and that character too. So I'm down for more of that stuff. You know, I'm a fanboy, so whatever they make, I'm gonna love. I usually don't waste a lot of time kind of like theorizing on what I think is going to happen, because I just know whatever it is, it's going to be awesome.
Noah?
Actually, I'm kind of surprised that Joe didn't say this one, and I'll just say it because he didn't. How about Robin Hood? I think that would be a great one.
I take
bonus
it back.
points if it's a fox.
I double take it back.
Nope, you already took 2 already, Joe. I was a little bit upset with you when you started going back in. I was like, that son of a.
All right. Well, I won't be mad if they make Robin Hood instead of King Arthur.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be rad.
I did want to pull up something real quick, because I remembered when the whole Headless Horseman came out, and I remember Eric saying something like, you know, like kind of feeling like he maybe wasted his time on that, and I had put this together. And because it's not a competition, it's not a race, even if they did theirs, I'm sure, Eric, you know, anything that they would do, your version would be cool as well. It would just be different. Yeah, it's not a race, but just
I know.
And yours was awesome.
It was.
I remember
it was different, at least.
Picture.
Yeah.
What's that?
Back in his NASCAR days.
Oh,
yeah. Well, he wakes up in the morning, he pisses excellence. So, Michael, what would you want to see?
I would say every single figure obscura drop that they've done so far is something that I didn't know I wanted or didn't realize that I wanted. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm actually not going to speculate at all. It's worked for me so far. I think every one that they've done has been outstanding, and I've purchased every single one of them. So that's it. I'm just going to roll with it like that.
Gotcha. How about you guys? I'll throw the question back to you.
Yeah. I've been saying this for the past couple. This is just one I'd really like to see, because I think they could do something really fun with it, and you get a little bit of like a mythic figure and a monster, and I'm saying a 2-pack of Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf.
That's cool.
Oh man,
yeah, that would be.
See, like I didn't think of that, but like if that shows up, and I don't even like look at what it is, you know, like when the drop happens, when we know it's gonna happen, I kind of just go add to cart and check out, and I can't even tell you how many of them I've bought, and it's like, okay, let me go see what the heck I just bought now. That would be an awesome surprise. I like that idea.
Cool. You get some awesome soft goods. You get some awesome soft goods for, you know, from C. Jessam for Red Riding Hood, maybe some of the new female parts from the Rising Suns wave. And for the wolf, I'm thinking like a big, kind of like the bear, like a dire wolf, like a bigger, like regular wolf kind of a thing that could maybe stand up or something like that. You know, because they do talk about a great wolf that interacts with Neve and her story. So like there's some other wolf being out there.
They could get use out of it.
Yeah.
Well, we know that that Treadaway likes werewolves. So that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. One of the things as a customizer that I've absolutely loved about the Figure Obscura is that they use it as a way to introduce new tooling and new parts into the line. So I think like Jesse's idea there is great because, you know, all of a sudden we would have like these kind of wolf parts and stuff that we don't have now. And then, you know, you kind of look at those things as they drop and you go, I wonder how they're going to use that in the future. Like what other things are they going to use that thing for? So that would be cool. For me, I'm kind of like with Michael, like I haven't really known any of the characters that they've done a Figure Obscura on. Like I may be familiar with it or I may have heard the name, but I didn't really know it. Like even Father Christmas, like I know of Santa, but I didn't know anything about really Father Christmas. Headless Horseman, I had never, you know, read the story. I'd never watched any of the movies or the cartoon or I had heard the name, obviously. I had seen the image, but I knew nothing about it. So part of the joy for me with the Figure Obscura is actually learning about this stuff. So I'm hoping it's another one that I absolutely don't know anything about so that I can kind of learn a little bit more about some sort of, you know, cultural phenomenon or something from literature or whatever. So I just, the whole experience has been awesome for me.
Yeah. I would say like I knew who Monkey King the character was before it came out, but the story, like the book that came along with it, like that, like filled me in on like the story of it, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know all the details and stuff like that went along with that. It was really cool to learn to what you just said, learn about that.
I had never Monkey King. I had never even heard that Monkey King before. I'd never heard that term. So like that was one that was completely, you know, Krampus was another one that I had I didn't even know Krampus existed before the figure. So yeah, it's been interesting, you know, because I'm also one that doesn't like reading, but for some reason I love Jeremy's write-ups of those. And you know what? The other thing is, I see we got Dorklayer in chat. Like I love his little fucking reviews that he does, like right afterwards. Like the thing will drop, and then you know, whatever, a little bit later, like you go and you watch his review and you see him because he doesn't know before he opens it up what it is, and you see his reaction, and then he does like the review and stuff, and you get to see more angles and everything of it. Because I don't know about you guys, but like when the Figure Obscura drops, like I go in, like I go into the site as soon as the sale drops, I hit the all in, I check out, and then I'm like, okay, what the hell did I just buy? Because like I didn't even look at it, you know. It's just like you just in, all in, go, you know.
Santa, I just knew I bought a red blur.
Right, I just did this, but now what is it that I purchased?
Speaking of reading, real quick, we got a super chat from Legends Collector 1321. This is random, but all will be revealed in due time. What's everyone's favorite type of weapon? Can be mythic, cosmic, or even from the real world. Let's start. Does anyone have one ready to go?
An Apache helicopter. Because no, I'm just kidding.
I can go.
Okay.
I've always liked any weapons with a chain. So anything that you kind of whip around, whether it's a flail, nunchucks, whatever. But I would like to see it. I saw, was it you, Joe, that did the one where you put the wire through the, yeah. I saw that and I thought that was a cool idea. I would like to see the Horseman do something like that, where it's, you know, it's a chained weapon, but it's also something that's wired to where you can get like a really cool pose with it and stuff. Yeah, anything with a chain, like like Panthro was my favorite Thundercat because of the nunchucks. I always just anything with a chain I thought was cool.
So then you must be looking forward to Brother Xavier, the Enabler, with his nunchucks.
Absolutely. Once again,
I'm sorry, the George the Grumpy.
I do wish
George the Unamused. Guess part of the Unamused.
It was posable, but I do. Yeah, I am looking forward to that for sure.
Cool. I'll go next.
Sure.
I like very recently like become like very enamored with Warhammers, like with the pick on the back and the hammer on the front. So I like a cool
You don't
Warhammer.
say, Joe.
Well, that again, more will be, like the
alert.
poster asked, more will be revealed soon. But the one that came with Sarah Elijah, really cool. I'm looking forward to that a lot. So.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun.
I gotta agree with you on that one. I love was it Braveheart when they swing one of those, it goes like right into the helmet, is one of the most sickening sound effects I've ever heard in like a battle sequence.
Yes. I watched that movie recently and I was so surprised that like we always like associate that movie with the giant, like, you know, a Braveheart, what is it, a Claymore sword that he carries?
Claymore, yeah.
Yeah, we always associate with that. But I watched it again and I'm like, no, he kills people with at least like 10 different weapons, a ball and a chain. He has a war pick, he has an antler, like
deer
dagger,
antlers,
like
arrows in the back of his gauntlet.
Yes, he kills people with a lot of different weapons in that movie besides just that giant Claymore sword. But yes, I remember that when it dents into the hammer and the blood just shoots out the bottom of that helmet. Like, I remember that scene so good.
Eric, what about you?
I don't really know if there's anything that I'm really wanting or like a favorite weapon. Like I don't know if that's really something that's something I think about, you know. I would like to see like a more traditional like rapier kind of sword, which would probably go along great with Joe's Three Musketeers.
Well,
I take that back. King Arthur.
Yeah. What about with Cosmic? Because I know you're a big Cosmic guy. Is there any kind of weapons that you haven't gotten there that you think would be cool?
I do think like a lightsaber type weapon for Cosmic would be sweet. I mean, I know a lot of the characters have guns already, but you know, a short
energy sword.
Yeah, I can't. Words are escaping me. It's been a long day.
Sword.
But yeah, like a short range kind of like sword weapon, I think would be great. Or even something that looks more like the dark saber from like the Mandalorian. You know, something that kind of has more of like a blade form to it that just kind of has like you know, more of like an exterior kind of like plasma look or like whatever you would call it. Yeah, for sure. It doesn't have to be like a straight up lightsaber, but something like that I think would be cool.
Gotcha. Noah?
Similar to Joe Bro, I'm a fan of bludgeons, so I would say like a mace. I like a nice little mace. Just nothing fancy. We don't need spikes or anything like that. Just maybe some knobs on there and just cracking skulls with the mace. Nothing to get stuck or anything like that. Easily extracted. Just go back in for more. Not that I put much thought into it, but that's my answer.
But if I was going to kill somebody, it would definitely be bludgeoned to death.
You know, zombie apocalypse, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It works for everything.
Okay. Michael?
In reality, like in everyday life, I actually really enjoy archery. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I've done for a number of years since I was a kid. That I continue to do with my dad and my family to this day. But as far as like actual, like I don't want to like go into battle in real life, like shooting a bow. So I've always been like the boring answer, like swords. I love swords, but I've recently really started to appreciate ye old double-headed axe because I mean you could do some damage with those things.
Pretty,
you know.
I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
Like I've seen that somewhere before as well too.
Badass.
Couple places.
What about you, Jesse?
So for me, I'm going to go with this one. This is one I designed for a character in one of my stories, and CB Make sculpted it for me. It's really cool. Inspired by some like Middle Eastern swords. It was kind of inspired by one of the swords in the Mummy movies. But if it wasn't that, I would say if it was some, I don't know if he's asking if we'd want to see this in the line or whatever. But I would say maybe like a falcata sword. It's kind of like a shorter sword, like a gladius or something, but it's got kind of got that little bit of a curve to it. It's a pretty cool looking sword.
Cool.
Shorter sword.
Gotcha. We got another one that came up. Says
you didn't answer, Curtis. Did you answer?
Oh yeah. Anything changed? Anything changed?
Yeah.
But I'd like it to be posable. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I do like Eric's rapier one because I have wanted to see rapiers in life for a long time.
Yeah. Mvira 1976 says, I'm still wondering what this whole new buying experience will be at Legions. Wonder if they'll have a way to pre-order, say some sort of drop that you pick up at Legions Con, kind of like ZoloCon. Yeah, that was something that we did a show at the end of Legions Con last year, a shooting the shelf / OffWorld show, just to kind of close out in the hallway. And Jeremy just like closed out the show. He jumped on. We weren't expecting it, and he gave us a little teaser that's been kind of thrown out the rest of the year, which is that there's going to be this whole new buying experience this year at Legions Con. And we don't really know what that means. We do know that they've changed around the floor structure to where that side room that had some other vendors and tables, the horsemen are going to be in there this year. And then there's going to be the section that was behind that we were doing the like breakout sessions and stuff is going to be used for something else. I don't know if it's going to be storage for figures or if that's going to be a separate area, but they're not doing the breakout sessions this year. So, yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on what you think that a whole new buying experience means, or what that could be?
That's the first I've actually heard that, so I don't have any guesses at all. But I will say good night, Grimlock. Good night, Eugene.
Good night, Eugene.
Good night, Gene.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yes, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Yeah,
I'm going to say one that's more of a joke than an actual, because I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Greg is personally going to walk around to every table and every attendee, and let me rephrase. When you get your badges, you're going to get like a little sheet or something, and then when you wake up the next morning, it will like materialize with all the figures that will be available that day. Greg will collect them and then personally bring them to you, wherever you are in the
with pinstripes and undercoating.
I mean, if he wants to get fancy.
All I know is that if Greg has anything to do with it, my order is going to be much larger than whatever I place.
All right.
The ultimate enabler right there. Shout out, Greg.
So what if it was like, I'm thinking back to this past Legions Con and what was different, what was unique. And the unique thing this past year was they dropped the Valiant Knight on us just out of nowhere. Just all of a sudden it's at the table and we go and it's there. And I feel like that did pretty well. I think that there was a lot of buzz around the con. I think people were excited for it. It brought something new to the line because the articulation was just spectacular. What if they did something like that where maybe it was like a wave instead of just one figure? What if it was like 4 or 5, 6 figures that they just dropped at Legions Con, and that was separate from the regular, line that you go through and stuff? There was a separate room that it's like, this is a whole new wave that's in stock, ready to go, and you could just go up and buy it. And then similar to the Valiant Knight, then you would have another sale later, that would have that figure, hopefully with greater quantities. But
that's scary.
But what if you show up at Legions Con and there's just a wave ready to purchase?
I think that's a lot to prepare for. I mean, you're already going in with the mindset of, number one, visiting all of these different, customizers and third-party tables that you want to go and get a bunch of cool stuff from them. You're going with a budget set in mind to spend at the Horseman's table, which, you're expecting to see some stuff from the last year or two that maybe you want to catch up on or grab some extra for customs. You're going with a budget in mind for the exclusives because we already know what those are going to be before the show. So an entire, I mean, I could go and like they could drop a surprise figure and like it's not like it's pretty cool. Like, okay, if I got a spring for that, no problem. I don't know how many of like your average attendee is going to be prepared to pay for an entire wave in hand, considering that's has been the same weekend that we've been getting our new waves revealed to us.
G-Con.
And when the pre-order goes live, literally immediately the day right before the first day of the show. So
and
I mean,
potentially
that would be awesome.
hitting around that same time.
Yeah.
My wallet is subbing.
Yeah, I'd be a little nervous if I went in there and Joe was like, "Hey, dude, there's a whole brand new wave downstairs that they never announced. Like it's in stock." I'd be like, "What?"
I feel like at the end of Billy Madison, where you just told me that everybody's stupider for having listened to me, and I just want to say a simple no would have sufficed.
How about Legion's vending machines?
Okay,
like the claw machines.
Oh man,
skill crane.
That skill crane would be awesome.
That would be rad.
There's one Otho in there.
Cool.
Dude, what if they did something like that? They could rent a claw machine and just like throw some like random finds in there. But you got to get through like there's just like the Otho's buried beneath like 20 Ragnas. So you got to like it's just Ragnas and Hagnons, and there's one Otho in there.
Yeah.
Greg is in there catching them so you don't get box damage as it falls down the chute.
I think it's going to be more like a Thunderdome thing. Like 2 collectors go in, 1 comes out. They get the figures. Maybe it's a tickle fight. Who knows? Tickle fight Thunderdome. Let's get that trending.
A lot of death matches going on in this episode. I don't know.
A lot of tickle fights too.
We're like a really tight knit, close community. I don't know if like death. But if it is a tickle fight, I'm bringing in Tickle Me Elmo.
All right.
For
Well,
ringer.
who can get the most milk in a bucket in 3 minutes from a goat or something?
Damn it, Eric.
All right. Well, that was the show.
We got the ringer. I got the ringer
guy down there. I'm bringing Eric with me. He's got goats. He's got goats.
Wait. But before you try to wrap us up, Curtis, I got to say to Joe, because I heard you mention this on the last episode of your show, Mythic Enablers Podcast. If you guys aren't listening to that, go find that wherever you cast pods.
Wherever pods are cast.
You mentioned rewatching. Oh shoot! Now it just left me. Kingdom of Heaven recently.
Yeah.
Which I freaking love.
Yeah,
that movie. Is it the extended cut or the regular version?
I just clicked rent on Amazon, and I don't remember which one I did.
Have you ever seen the extended one?
I'm not sure if I have. I probably have. I've seen it so many times that I'm sure maybe I have. Shoot, now I feel
they expand some cool stuff. They make oh shoot, I'm blanking on her name.
Ava Green's character.
They expand her story out a little more, so where it doesn't feel just so like cold blooded when she makes some decisions she makes. Like, and they add other stuff too. I think does that say unicorn milking station?
They sure did.
I don't know how you milk a unicorn, but
we'll figure it out.
All right.
It's the same way you milk a goat.
Yes.
Yes.
Carefully.
Anyway, it's definitely worth checking out.
I'll definitely I'll look into it. I didn't have an option, like, so when I went to go rent it, it wasn't like it wasn't like, do you want the extended version or the other one? So I just rented whatever was there.
Okay. As soon as the Relic Guard went up, it made me think of and the Dark Templars. It made me think of different characters in that movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that movie's got a lot of Templar action in it. It's badass.
With the knights, is it just like the figures, or are you are you into like the whole lore of knights and any kind of movie with knight? Like, is it like everything, or is it just with the figures that you're really obsessed with?
Oh, it's pretty all encompassing. It's movies, it's books. Yeah, they're my favorite characters. Like Dragonlance has the whole adventure party, and the knight was my favorite. And yeah.
So what would be your favorite knight movie that you would, if somebody's never seen a movie with knights, what would be the one that you would recommend to somebody?
Oh, that's easy. Excalibur.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the number one, huh?
Yeah, that's got the coolest looking armor I've ever seen in any knight movie. I don't even think they've made cooler armor in recent movies. Like it's from 1981, and
for you on
they still haven't made cooler
on that armor.
Go for it. I'm willing to listen.
I don't know if I can say this with a straight face. Nope, I can't even remember the name of the movie. It's that bad. The King Arthur movie with Sean Connery.
A kid in King Arthur's court.
The one with Richard Gere?
Yeah. First
as Sir Lancelot? First night.
First night.
Yeah. First night. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, is this Star Trek playing?
I was way off.
Their armor was like, it's like this little like silver shoulder pad, like on these like sleek bodies.
Wait.
How old is this?
What was the one with Martin Lawrence? Wasn't it
Black Knight?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought
I think it was called Black Knight.
Yeah. I thought so. Joe, how about that one? You got any? Is that one pretty cool?
It doesn't rank up there for me. Sorry, no, bro.
Nice armor. Sorry, I don't know. I'm just trying to jump into the conversation.
Just to be part of it too.
Find a place, I guess. Eric, how about you?
Everybody's looking for their opening.
Eric's like, Knights.
I don't wake up in the morning and look at Knights, damn you.
Do you guys watch House of the Dragon at all? Because I thought that the armor in that series has been awesome.
Yeah, it is cool in that series.
Sure. I love that series.
Super rad.
I think the new the Rings of Power was out kind of streaming at the same time as House of Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it really hurt that show being up against House of Dragon, because I think House of Dragon is phenomenal. And it, by comparison, I think Rings of Power was just didn't hold up. I think if it was released by itself, it may have been better. But I think it's just natural based on that genre to kind of compare the two. And there's no comparison, in my opinion. So
I like them each for their own. Like I can separate the two for sure, but just the like the costume design for House of the Dragon, I think is some of the coolest costume design I've seen on TV in a while. Like they really elevated it. You know, I really enjoy it.
The dragons looked amazing too, man. I'm excited to see what the next season brings, because that last episode was that was a doozy.
Can't wait.
Me too. My wife and I are bummed out because we got on Black Friday. She bought like a bunch of subscriptions to streaming channels, and one of them was HBO, and it was like a I don't know, it might have been a 6 or 8 month subscription, or whatever, for like a cheaper price, whatever. But it's gonna end. We figured it out. We calculated it's gonna end like right before the second season of
I gotta re-up on it too.
Yeah. Trevor saying the Green Knight was cool. I haven't seen that one yet.
It was cool, but that was like so that was the one from like A23. It had like Dev Patel was Sir Gawain, and it was more of like a thinking movie. It wasn't like your typical knight movie with armor and all that stuff. There was not very much armor in that at all. So I would not choose that as my favorite armor or knight movie to recommend to somebody.
Dorglair talks about A Knight's Tale. I know.
Yes,
I absolutely love A Knight's Tale. Like
anytime that comes on TV, I don't care what part it's in, I'll just sit down and start watching that movie again. I love that movie.
Love that movie.
It's so good. The only thing that I don't like about it is I didn't realize that it was a good movie till a couple years ago, because I just didn't watch it when it first came out. And I'm like, man, I missed so many years of my life that I could have been watching A Knight's Tale. So
better late than never, buddy.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys ever seen Alf
out there?
That's a good show.
Addendum to my question. Nobody said Beast of Panog, and I'm very disappointed. I mean, Monty Python Holy Grail is funny. I don't know that the armor was exactly spot on. I think they used whatever they had.
It's closer it's closer than First Night.
Yeah.
Don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel about that movie, Jesse.
I will say about that movie,
the rabbit.
When Lancelot comes in and kisses Guinevere towards the end of the movie, like that's a pretty damn amazing kiss scene. I know. There you go. There's another thing to add to the list of things you didn't think we'd talk about tonight is kiss scenes in a movie, but that was a very palpable moment, regardless of the garbage of the rest of the movie.
Does it beat Spidey upside down, Kirsten Dunst kiss scene?
Yeah, because it's Tobey Maguire.
I'm learning some stuff about you guys tonight. This is cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Jesse, I've actually got a soft spot for First Night. Like I grew up, my dad loved that movie for some reason. So I remember it was always like on the TV. I think he even owned it. And so to me, like it's nostalgic for me. Like I'm not I'm not like saying it's like Shakespeare or anything, but I don't hate a night first night at all.
I'm being hard on it just because the costumes just weirded me out so much, but I've seen that movie probably at least a dozen times. So I mean, I've spent time with it.
I'm glad Mike said it because I'm with you, Mike, and I just didn't want to like incur the wrath of Jesse because he was on like an hatred spewing rampage about the movie, so I didn't want to.
There's a couple movies in this genre that get like dunked on a lot that I kind of like, you know, they're like guilty pleasures. Like what was that one movie? Is it Dragonheart? I think also Sean Connery. I think he plays.
I love Dragonheart.
I loved that movie. And like sometimes people kind of joke about it, and I'm like, all right, I kind of like that.
my one that I really enjoy that people really super shit on is Seventh Son. It does not get much love, but I'm a big
Jeff
fan
Bridges.
of
Is that
Jeff
the one?
Bridges.
Yeah,
We're talks like this. Seven.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I really enjoy it. It's like a whole sword and sorcery thing. Like there's witches and they're fighting monsters and stuff. It's almost like a kind of Witcher feel to it.
It's a good movie.
But I really enjoyed it, but it did not do well at the box office, and it gets shit on pretty heavily, mostly because Bridges has this like terrible accent and like throughout the whole thing.
He's an accent,
damn charming actor.
He had like teeth removed in the 3 days they
That's
filmed
what
it.
it sounds
had,
like.
Wads of gauze in his mouth the whole time.
Yeah, I love it though.
I mean, my favorite King Arthur movie is the one with Charlie Hunnam. Like I know it's a very departure from the classic King Arthur story, but I love that movie, and I know that gets a lot of hate too.
Are you trying to piss off Joe? He just said that Excalibur was the best, and now you're saying
I said I liked it. I didn't say it's the best. I said it's my favorite.
I do like it. I enjoy it, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I do enjoy that one too. So
I want to go back favorite and
medieval
watch that
movies.
Yeah.
I just like the different take on him becoming who he is, like, running the street. I mean, it's definitely got that Guy Ritchie, street gang vibe to it, but they made it work in my opinion. And
as long as you don't tell me like the Taron Egerton Robin Hood is your favorite, we can still remain friends.
I barely made it through that movie.
Okay, good.
I don't.
I'd say my favorite.
You gotta do the Costner. Like that's the best Robin Hood.
And now I actually really like the Russell Crowe. Yeah,
really.
He teamed back up with Ridley Scott for it. I wish it had. I don't know why it didn't do great in the theaters, but it didn't. But it was really cool, and it was setting itself up for like that movie ends up like being the beginning of like the tail, and like it was only the start, and they didn't do anymore, which bummed me out. It was a cool movie.
This was going to be my. This was going to be mine. The Messenger, the Joan of Arc story. I think that movie is amazing, and the armor in that movie is incredible.
I've never seen it. Oh, there's good ones for you to watch, and I've been trying to tell Mike to watch it forever. So if any of you guys have ever seen it and you can enable him a little bit, it's called The King. It's on Netflix, and it's
yes, watch it.
Yeah, it's with Timothy Chalamet and yes,
Elvis movie.
Elvis, The King. Yeah,
Outlaw King's pretty good too.
Outlaw King's pretty good as well too. Yeah, with Chris Pine. That's like where where Braveheart ends. It's kind of historically where the story picks up.
But there's only one perfect movie, and that's Princess Bride.
Oh, I do have a strong.
It doesn't get better.
Eric,
Bride.
You want to chime in, Eric? Go ahead, get him.
Get him, Eric.
Chime in on what now?
Only Bride. One perfect movie.
Yeah, perfect movie, Princess Bride.
I think there's 3 perfect movies.
Have we talked about this before?
I don't think so.
I've never understood that movie.
Oh man,
never. I've watched it many times. I've had many friends tell me that it's a wonderful movie and they love it, and I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all.
I can't even understand.
I just made a bunch of enemies. I know, but man,
no, not enemies. I feel bad for you. It's like there's like something dead inside of you or something. I don't know.
Look, man, my favorite movie is Labyrinth. If it doesn't have puppets, I just don't have time for it.
So if they would have put puppets in Lord of the Rings, you would have loved Lord of the Rings. That's what it was missing.
That movie would be 10,000 times better if it had puppets in it.
So the Fellowship of the Ring, but puppets, Muppets.
Yes, that sounds amazing to me.
I hate to admit that I would watch that.
I would too.
I would definitely watch
the hell out of that.
Yeah.
I would watch it.
Oh my god!
I'll say there's
due for a new Muppets movie.
But with the Princess Bride, like you've got the connection between the grandpa and the grandkid. You've got the love story. You've got the action. You got the sword fighting. You got comedy. Like it's got everything, man, and romance. Like it's the movie as a kid that made me go, okay, kissing isn't that bad, you know.
Literally,
and we're back to kissing.
It has.
I just remember like
bring it all back around.
Like a giant rat or something, right?
Yeah, rats
rat.
would use
ROUSs.
Rodents would use the size.
Yeah. I don't. You know, it's been a decade since I've seen it, so like, maybe after, you know, maybe it'll take me till I'm 40 to get it. I don't know, but I
bet your
need
kids
more
would
Muppets.
like it.
That's
Andre
just
the Giant is absolutely charming in that movie.
Oh,
I could see my daughter getting into it actually.
Yeah,
Eric,
that's
just
the
just
one movie
imagine
that takes me through all the feels, like everything. Like, you know, you go through the whole range of emotions throughout that movie. At least I do. So
there's so many feels I just don't care for though.
Eric, just imagine like if Andre the Giant was Sweetums, like that movie.
There you go.
Let's start.
Now I want to see a
do this.
puppet remake.
yeah,
of
they would have done a puppet Andre the
Noah
Giant. Just
knows
like
how to get me excited about a movie for
Yeah,
sure.
he does. He knows his audience.
I'm gonna throw out three
Jim
perfect
Henson,
movies.
Andre the Giant. Go ahead, Jesse.
Labyrinth.
Yep, I love that
Princess
one.
Bride.
3 different what movies?
Perfect
Perfect
movies.
movies.
Oh, Labyrinth is a perfect movie. It is the perfect movie.
Labyrinth. Yeah, Labyrinth and Princess Bride and Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest is
love
freaking
Galaxy
phenomenal
Quest.
too.
I love all 3 of those movies personally.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Galaxy
Did any of
Quest
you
is
hear
like-
my wife snort when I said Labyrinth was a perfect movie?
No.
She's in the room and she literally went,
Harumph.
I think for me, Princess
Shout out
Bride's the
Shannon.
only perfect one, but those one, the other 2 that you mentioned, definitely up there. And I would put Knight's Tale on that same list of like next tier, like under that. So
Only 5 fingers here. I don't know what you're seeing there, Jordan.
I don't know what's going on. Jesse
He said I have 6 fingers. I'm AI. I think he's making a Princess Bride reference, but
I think he's talking about your friend.
that's on this hand. I didn't show that just now.
Gotcha.
Keep poking at my self-confidence about Kevin.
I'm not. I'm saying I think that's what he was mentioning. So
No, him.
Oh, okay.
Kevin. Sorry. Yes, I have a growth on my hand. I'm sorry.
Well,
I buy
gentlemen,
toys instead of getting healthcare.
let's go around. Obviously, we know you're here to talk about your show, Mythic Enablers. It's streaming on pretty much every podcast thing, right? You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Podomatic, really anywhere. Anything else you guys want to talk about that, or you want to promote your individual, whether it's Instagrams or anything else that you guys got going on? Start with Joe.
No, I don't have anything else to really to hype or anything like that. The podcast, you know, thank you everybody for who's watching, you know, is listening to it. I'm sorry. You know, it's awesome for all the support, and having you guys listen to it is amazing. So yeah, no, there's nothing there. And as far as like tags or handles or anything like that, you can find me on Facebook. I'm Joe Russo on Facebook, and you can find me in the Cabal, being a friend to all.
There you go. Eric.
I'm just working on stuff for shows for the most part. I'm going to be at IshCon in August, and obviously Legions Con. So I've already got some of my Legions Con stuff completed, and I kind of wish I could show it to everyone. You know, I don't know how much people care about reveals, but for some reason it's a big deal to me. But I've got some cool stuff that I've been working on. That's really fun. I will say too, and I won't say a lot about it, but some of the professional work that I've done is starting to land, and it's a cool feeling. It's cool seeing reviews. Cool. It's cool seeing photos, and that's
absolutely. Let's talk about that because you've worked on what 2 to 3 toy lines now at this point, right?
Yeah, I've done 3.
Okay, so you did a small amount of work for Defenders of Eden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you did oh shoot, always forget the name of that company that did the other one.
Just let him say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did a figure for Savage Crucible.
Well, yeah, obviously that one. That one's when getting ready to hit.
Okay, well, you're probably talking about Premium DNA then.
That's and it was which toy line was that?
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, and you did pretty much all of those, right?
Yeah, the first wave is basically 2 figures and then variants on those 2 figures. So I did 2, and then I think that they just took. I'm not sure. I'm not on Premium DNA's teams. They're going to do with it what they will. But I did 2 figures, and I think they somehow based all 4 of them off of those 2.
Gotcha. And then the one that's recent, which is just starting to hit, is the Savage Crucible. And what's the figure that you worked on for them?
The Imperial Sentry, which is the show exclusive figure. So you can't get it from any website, unfortunately. But if you go to any show where they are, you should be able to get the Imperial Sentry, and that's the figure that I contributed to that line.
Gotcha. Awesome. Do you have any in hand yet, or are you still waiting on yours?
I'm still waiting on mine. I did get a factory sample at one point just so I could run over it and critique and stuff. But of course, I had to send that back. But
right,
it's cool. It's cool getting something in your hands that you worked on the prototype, and then it goes to a factory in China and it comes back, and it's just super exciting. And now reviews are popping up on YouTube and stuff, and it's just really cool to see something that was on my workbench that went through the whole process, and now it's a finished action figure in people's hands. It's really cool.
That's really cool.
Well, speaking of that being a show exclusive, do you know which shows, if people were going to go to try to get one of those, is there ones coming up that they can expect that to be at?
They've got quite a few shows lined up, though I don't know what the next one would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if they'll be at IshCon?
I'm not sure. Okay. I don't recall them being on the IshCon schedule, but I could be wrong.
Okay. So stay tuned. Definitely want to pick up some of that with Eric's work. Does a phenomenal job. I've loved, seeing just the things that you do show, like little reveals and stuff that you've done for shows. I mean, man, you brought that stuff to that table at MuskeeCon, and it was like just fire after fire. Like you opened up that case and it was like, oh my God, this stuff it was spectacular. Especially listen, I know, these guys here and folks love the Mythic stuff. I love your cosmic. I love your aliens, man. Like, you go crazy when it comes to these aliens. That one head that I got from you that has you took this $5 head that doesn't have a super ton of detail in it, and just created depth and detail and all these things that didn't exist in the sculpt. And you just did a fabulous job. So yeah, keep it up, man. Awesome work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Noah, what about you?
I'm not really working on anything too crazy right now. Just doing some organizing and cleaning. Besides that, I just finished my first custom that I've done since Legions Con. So expect to see some stuff here coming pretty soon. Maybe some things we're talking about on the show. Shameless plug.
That's cool.
You can find me on Facebook as my name, Noah Pratt. And on Instagram, you can find me as Anything's Posable, as well as on Facebook. I do have a page on there as well. And catch me in the Enablers group, chatting it up, trying to be active as possible. And the Cabal.
A question that I'm sure is on everybody's mind is, will we ever get more Dio stuff from Noah Pratt? Because we were missing it this past year, and we're just wondering, is there any more coming at some point?
Chances are that I will. I'm hoping to have more than I did last year. The issue with the diorama stuff is it's a lot more time consuming, and maybe I just need to adjust my prices to reflect that.
Okay.
It's hard to recoup your time on dioramas, and for me, my the area where I do my diorama building is in my shop, which is away from my family, and painting heads at the kitchen counter is a lot easier than building dioramas at the kitchen counter. So
yeah,
as we all know, time is money, and with my job, I'm very busy and try to spend as much time with my family as possible.
Yeah,
so,
that's definitely the most important. So awesome.
The goal is to bring more dioramas to Legions Con, but no promises. I'm definitely a slacker, so don't expect too much out of me.
Hey man, I'm right there with you. Last few weeks I haven't really done much customizing. I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm like, I should be customizing, but I really just don't feel like it right now. So I get it.
Thanks,
Michael. What about you?
I am Noah's biggest fan when it comes to his dios. The guy is like a jack of all trades, but I personally believe that his dio work is his biggest strength. I would love to see him put more stuff out, but I understand his reasoning why. It's also a lot bigger to carry to cons and stuff like that. So, you know, versus packing a box with a bunch of like little heads, now you're taking up all the space with, you know, dios and stuff. But I would love to, even if it's just for his own personal collection. I'd love to see him do another build, because he's got it. The guy can paint, he can take pictures, but that man can build dios. As far
sound
as
like some sort of enabler, like
I'd listen, go build one, man. I'd love to enable you to do that. I miss it. As far as what I'm working on, I'm not working on anything outside of the podcast right now. Whatever little free time I get, I spend chatting with these guys and just having a good time with them. But I will use this opportunity just to say thank you to everybody. It's been like a really like cool couple months, you know, and like it's not just words. Like we genuinely feel the love coming from our friends in the community, and then people that like we've never spoken to that have been so supportive. And now I know there's people whose names I haven't seen up until we started doing the podcast, and they're some of the most supportive people that have shown love, and really grateful for that. Grateful to, you know, you guys, Legions Lounge, you know, everybody that's like taking the effort to like bring us and put us on their show, Euro Legions. And then he's not here, but big shout out to Wyatt. I know he really wanted to be here tonight, and that guy contributes so much behind the scenes, because the amount of time you got to put into like edit this stuff and just to get it out there, he basically has to listen to the episode several times over, you know, which is, it's a job in itself, and I know I can't do it. So, you know, he deserves a lot more credit as far as that goes. So thank you.
Shout out Y Guy.
Yeah.
Professional procrastinator.
We'll try to get him on. We'll try to get him on sometime too.
Absolutely.
Even if we can't get everybody, we'll get Wyatt on at some point.
Yeah, and I just want to echo, you know, everything that Michael's saying about with Noah. Like, you know, I've got one of your dio pieces in my collection, and it's just like a, you know, one of the tiered pieces for the risers. And it's phenomenal. Like, I'm not blowing smoke. Like, I think your dio work is the best. That, like, when I went to that Legions Con, I walked around and saw everybody's work. I think your dio stuff was the best. I totally understand what you're saying as far as the reasoning for, you know, working on more painting than that stuff. But I think your dio work is absolutely exceptional. And you know, if you can fit more in, and there's some at Legions Con, I think that's just a benefit to the community, because I think you just do great work. So
thanks, dude, like, he doesn't just make them to like look like visually good. Like there's engineering that goes into stuff. Like if he designs something a certain way, it's because that's how it would work in real life. You know what I mean? It's not just a matter of like, oh, I want these bricks to look this way. No, if it wouldn't support the bricks that way in real life, he's not gonna design it that way. And I love that. You know, it's like those little details. Yeah, make it make sense. And like, I kind of have this weird OCD when it comes to certain things. Like when I try to take a picture, I hate so many pictures I've taken, because I'm like, man, I missed that little detail and nobody's looking for it. These guys are like, you're crazy. Like, I wouldn't even know, but I know it's there. And he puts that same kind of OCD-ness into his builds. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Did want to pull up, Michael just kind of mentioned it, not able to join us tonight. Y Guy. For folks, I mean, that haven't seen him last couple years at Legions Con, they're going to see him maybe for the first time this year. I want you guys to tell us kind of, you know, why should people kind of go up to Wyatt and talk to him? What is what is the drawing factor? Because you guys haven't seen this guy in
Put
2
that picture
years,
back up.
and somehow you're still, very close with him. You're talking to him. You created a podcast with him. So there's something about this guy that's just like draws you guys in. So what is that magnetic factor that people should try to, get some of when they show up at Legion's Con and see him?
Just a beacon of light and happiness. Look at that guy. I mean, don't you just want to approach him and just have a conversation?
Yeah.
Just, God dang. Look
Look at that face.
I got
Sig's got it, the hair, Van's got it.
Yeah.
The smile. Yeah. I mean, he's just an incredibly sweet human being.
He's our friend,
charming
man.
as hell.
We click, yeah. He clicks with us, man. Just personality wise, we're a unit together.
There you go.
All right.
Mike nailed it.
So there you go, folks. If you've never, maybe last year was your first Legion's Con, maybe you've never gone to Legion's Con, you go this year and you see Wyatt, take your opportunity, because he's a great human being, and you're gonna want to spend that time with him. And like Michael was saying earlier, make some time, have a meal with some people that you don't normally hang out with, make some new friends. Who knows? They may become lifelong friends, and you may start a podcast with them. So.
It's always like when you least expect it too. Like you're sitting at a table, like waiting for your friends to come down off the elevator. It's probably somebody else like sitting there. Like, I know it's intimidating to talk to strangers, but like, hey man, what's up? How you enjoying the con? And you'd be surprised that turns into like a 40-minute conversation.
Yep, absolutely.
That person was just sitting there waiting for somebody to talk to them, maybe in that instance, and then that's all it takes. Click.
Are we waiting in line for 3 hours to go through the horseman table or something?
Everybody makes line friends.
Yeah.
Or sitting at G-Con, which, listen, I love G-Con. I absolutely adore it. But when you're sitting there for 5-6 hours, at some point, as you're waiting for like the next reveal and stuff, it's like, man, I just, spend that time. Like reach over to your person next to you and just kind of have a little conversation. As long as you're not interrupting their little convo up front. Maybe go to the back of the room, grab a piece of, what is it, tomato pie or whatever they call that crap, and the pizza, not pizza, and just have a conversation back there. So,
Van says if you see Noah at the urinal, strike up a convo.
There you go.
Smack him on the ass.
I wasn't going to highlight that one, but since you brought it up,
yeah, I don't advise smacking anybody on the ass at Legion's Con.
Don't do that.
But definitely don't do it if you think that it's the person, but you're not 100% sure that it's the person you think it is. So
or
definitely don't do it at a urinal.
The urinal.
Yeah.
So Curtis, are you saying to make eye contact before you?
Yes.
Okay.
Make deep eye contact and then smack them on the ass.
Don't give yourself enough time to make sure.
Yeah.
Wait for him outside the bathroom because it's only half as creepy, and then say what's up.
Or set up a live StreamYard show right outside the bathroom and pull everybody in as they're trying to use it.
That's all right. Well, guys,
don't do any of that.
It's been awesome having you on. I hope that we were able to bring you some conversation you didn't get from the Euro Boys and the Legion's Lounge. So
this
was
different, Curtis. This was different.
I'm happy for the practice ahead of time. I am. I'm glad
we
got it right. I'm glad we got it right for your guys.
Some different things. So, but yeah, we're gonna put you guys backstage. We understand you're very busy. If you've got to run, that's fine. If not, hang out. We'll be right back with you. We're gonna close out the show and then we'll go from there. But it's been awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much
for having us on.
Yep. All right, that was a show, Jesse.
It is a show.
I think that's the most people we've had on the screen. I think you were right. I think for
it's most individual screens.
Anyway.
It's the most individual screens. We had
we had that at Legion's Con with the people.
Well, we had that, and then we had five people on with us after Mesquite Con.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We're only in 2 other screens, so
yeah. Well, we have and we've had a couple episodes with the Euro Boys, so but that was one less. So cool. It was fun though.
Yeah.
Talked about some things I didn't think we would talk about.
Yes. You never know what we're going to talk about because
this is true.
We do it live. I started the show live because editing this sort of program is not something I want to do.
Oh yeah.
I'm lazy. and B, I can't stand listening to my own voice on replay. So like, I know sometimes, Kirsch, you'll say you were watching an episode again or something like that. And I'm like, why? But yeah, this was a fun episode. It was great. Make sure you check out the Mythic Enablers podcast on all the places you can find them and everything where they were saying to find their stuff. And next week, Curtis.
Well, I just got done saying that you never know what we're going to talk about, but I'm pretty sure next week we're going to probably talk about some Battle Beast. We're probably going to talk about some Legions because we have as a guest Joe Vassapolo. So
that's right.
It'll be a lot of fun. I know he's super busy with all the things going on at the studio right now, but it'll be great to get him on here. We've kind of talked to him a little bit, and here and there with other guests and stuff, but it'll be great to have him on and just kind of talk to him throughout the show and get to know him on a personal level and talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah. So next Sunday night, May 5th, we'll be talking to Joe at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you get to either the shows that we talked about next weekend, the live events, the Sacramento Mythic Meetup, we've got the Lehigh Valley Comic-Con in Easton, where I'll be with Len and Wolf King. Check those things out, and then come hang out with us Sunday night rather, to talk to Joe V.
Also, we've talked about doing a giveaway at 750 subscribers. We are at 743. So 7 people left, and we will be doing a giveaway. So just be aware. We're also working on a giveaway for OffWorld, several giveaways actually. So if you want to know about those giveaways and the different things that we're doing on our shows, check out the Legend Daddy Facebook group. That is where we kind of post any of the stuff that we've got going on our shows. And like, subscribe, and hopefully we can get to 750 by the next show and do a fun little giveaway.
Well, there you have it, folks. Or in other words, All right. So yes, we'll see y'all next week. We'll see you online in between then. And as always, until next time.
What's on your shelf?